One and all to the K.O.E. Nation, folks. How are we doing, folks? It is I, the man of the hour, the man with the power, the man that makes the podcast cower, the prince and potentate of the political parlance, the lord of the Scottish Highlands, and one damn handsome man, if I do say so myself, your king of extreme, Phil K.O.E., folks. It was an amazing time over at the Crucible with Rob Noir. It was quite the time. I hope this particular stream finds you all happy, healthy, much the wiser, folks. This is an AMA chill stream, and also we're going to go over my appearance on Thursday night at Big Buckin' Empire. Osiris, Tiberius, Jacanadar all showed up. Joe Biden showed up in one of the funniest sketches that Joe Biden's been a part of in a long, long time. So it's definitely great for y'all to be here. Let's see. Thank you. It was a great panel. I enjoyed it thoroughly. Ask you anything. Yes. Now, get too personal, I might not answer. But yeah, AMA. Tell Tony that the notification worked tonight. All right. Well, because the notification worked tonight, hopefully that amazing performance of Big Buckin' Empire can actually, be seen. Like, that would be preferable, wouldn't it, folks? Like, that would be just spectacular. So yeah, folks, easy, Alesto. Yeah, we'll see how far this goes. Yeah, folks, it's AMA. But also let's just get into this intro a little bit, because this last episode of Big Buckin' Empire is some of the most fun I've had in a long time. And if you got any questions about anything, come on, folks. I'm not shy. The water's fine. But yeah, it's been quite a week. And after this appearance, just depending on how I'm feeling, we might get into the appearance this evening. If you got any questions about the panel, I'm all ears, all you beautiful people. But yeah, let's just get a little preview into this. Thank you, Aircraft Spanky. And yes, all of you, subscribe to K.O.E. Nation on YouTube. My God, you know it's the right thing to do. Let's make sure you're getting the same thing I'm getting you.
Any government is to monopolize as much violence as possible in order for it to inflict it on as many citizens as possible.
I've been on this weird anarchist art for
don't worry about
few months now. This is playing by their rules, exactly how they are.
I don't want to set the world.
Yeah, there was parts that were punishment, but no, this is the fun part. Big Buckin' Empire.
I just want to start a flame.
You're watching the Dog and Chicken Show. Like, share, subscribe.
That's right. It's time for the Dog and Chicken Show.
And welcome back to episode 176 of the Dog and Chicken Show. And you will probably notice right off the bat that we are sans chicken, poultry free once again, but never fear, because I, Tony G, the non-COPPA friendly 14-time Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast champion, the blend master of ceremonies, the non-chill filtered, and the quadruple distilled host with the most, is here to just give you everything that I can in lieu of chicken's absence. It's okay. I'm going to give you 120% as always. And the man that gives 240% every time you see him on a live stream screen, to my left, your right.
Yes, it is I, the man of the hour, the man with the power, the man that makes the other podcast cower, the prince and potentate of the political parlance, the lord of the Scottish Highlands, and one damn handsome man, if I do say so myself, your king of extreme, Phil K.O.E., right here at Big Buckin' Empire on YouTube and Facebook. And you can, of course, find me, Phil K.O.E., at K.O.E. Nation on YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch, folks. And we're here for episode 176, Biden Yeltsin, folks. And we're also joined by a very special guest, a first-time appearance, a man who has graced us with his presence, the one, the only, the man from Texas, the man of the hour, the man of the power, the man that makes the other tech support cower, the one, the only Osiris. How we doing, sir?
I'm doing great, and that's a hell of an intro. That was 2 times the intro. I'm used to the Phil intro, but I got 2 times the intro today. I appreciate that.
So, for those who don't know, Osiris, tell the folks a little bit about yourself. What is it that you bring to the table, and what is it that you're hoping to accomplish tonight? That you have joined the big bucking empire and K.O.E. Nation, one of the greatest honors to ever be bestowed upon anybody in the history of the internet.
So that's actually true. So who am I? Basically, I do tech stuff online, like Linux, fixing things, tech support, et cetera, et cetera. I play lots of video games, probably more than is healthy for any human being. And then I got into some politics on Twitch because there were all these young people are actually stupid, so I had to help them out. What's my mission here? My mission is different perspective, because you guys are up in what is it, the Midwest, and the Midwest has some pretty solid football and some some solid people up there, but we all know Texas is the home and the greatest state.
I'm just glad
in all things possible.
Look, the fact that you're from Texas, I would expect no less from you.
I might do that a little later.
Texas, I have family in Texas.
I gotta take care of one more thing, and then I'll probably do it.
I'm going to say is, hey, Tiberius, suck it. He just acknowledged that this is the Midwest, so
it
doesn't really actually include the Midwest. Yeah, it was just acknowledged by Texas. So
yes. Acknowledge your Midwestern tribal chief. Okay,
right.
Like that's Nebraska. That would be us.
Tiberius.
So yeah. I mean, like we were just saying before, because Osiris wanting. So did you and Tiberius just rip each other shreds? Like, no. Like Tiberius basically just bowed and like, I admit defeat to you, Phil K.O.E. You are superior in every way. I just need to replace my politics with Phil K.O.E.'s politics, and all will be better. And so I was like, yes, all of these things are true. All of these things are true, and that's pretty much like, if I think back and remember, I'm pretty sure that's how it went. I'm pretty sure. Osiris, you were there last time. I think that's pretty close, right?
It might be close. Yeah, I mean, there might be some details that are, who cares about the details?
Might be off a little here and there, but I got the general story right. It's like a great Hollywood rendition of a true story, based on a true story. So
yeah. That's
yes,
that's why Phil's being played by like Tom Cruise. And,
Oh no! Like I've often said, like when I make the movie of my life, it's like, all right, it's pretty much I got it. It's even Steven. I could go Jack Black or The Rock. It's pretty much either one to play me. And anybody that pisses me off, I always kind of joke. It's like, hey, you better watch it, or else I'm going to cast Andy Dick to play you. Okay, so fucking watch.
I think you should have The Rock play you, but Jack Black should do the voiceover work for The Rock.
Oh yeah, like the narration, and that's when I realized, I think, okay, you're onto something here.
Oh no, The Rock just actually has no lines. He just mouths his lines, and Jack Black cuts that audio in. Like, I think that would be appropriate.
I hope you take this as a compliment, but you got to get Chris Farley to play you. That would be amazing.
Well, unfortunately, he's dead, but I would totally do that. No, actually, I'll check. That no good rapscallion ne'er-do-well himself.
Midwest is what it is, man.
Yeah, I was about to say that was his bat signal. He heard that Nebraska was calling ourselves the Midwest, and he just had a mother.
Wait, if you're not in the Midwest, then where are you?
Exactly.
Oh, I was about to say we're the middle of the country, Midwest. All right, Ty, I'm finding you. Okay, and I just sent the invite to Tiberius, and he will be here in mere minutes to no doubt admit that, yes, Phil, you are right on everything. I bow to you. You are you're the GOAT, the greatest of all time, and I'm sorry for any disagreement I ever had. I'm sure that's what he's going to come here to say. I'm sure that's exactly what he's here to do. And what do you know, folks?
I like how you can feel his anger and just disdain before he even gets on screen.
But folks, here it is. The man for you, the man for me, the man you need to see, the one, the only, Tiberius motherfucking D. How are we doing there, Ty?
I'm doing all right. It's good to see Tony, and oh my God, we've got Osiris up in the house.
I was about to say, it's a truth and fiction invasion.
Yeah. No, truth be told, guys, is that whenever there's an Osiris in the house, that is my bat signal. All right. That is when I have got to show up because you know it's going to be a good time.
Oh yeah, Osiris is the shit. We had to have you come along tonight, and now we got Tiberius too. So it's gonna be a packed house tonight, folks. It's gonna be like, I mean, if we had one more, we'd have a full poker game. Almost, like it would be like, all right, let's get this going. But all right, so Tiberius D, like I was just telling the folks earlier how in our last interactions, you're just like, Phil, you're correct on everything. I admit your full rightness in all, and like I bow to you, and I'm just replacing my politics with Phil K.O.E.'s politics.
Yo,
that's pretty much how our last interaction
Phil,
was, right?
Phil, I just got done eating like up to my brim, and now you're making me want to throw it all up.
I was
Come
about
on.
to say it almost just crept back up. Like, well, Tiberius, it's glad to know I can get a reaction. Okay, like I at least consider that nice.
I am glad that I live in your head rent free. Thank you very much.
I just like got him. I'm not the one gonna puke. Okay, like, well, no, I was gonna like that was what I was saying. Like, dude, you're the one talking about how you're gonna puke from what I'm saying. So I don't know about that, but nah, I just poured this is way too much. But you know what? For all the beautiful fans here tonight, this one's for you. Shot of gin that I hate, but it's for all y'all. And the classic toast to fighting, stealing, and drinking. If you're gonna fight, may it be for a friend. If you're gonna steal, may it be a lover's heart. And if you're gonna drink, by God, I hope it's with me. Oh, that took 5 drinks. That took 5 drinks. That was, that's for all y'all. That's for you, Alesto, and for everybody else. Jesus Christ. But, all right, Ty. So basically, that's him saying, like, yes, Phil, your politics are superior. I bow to you. Your superiority is just, I can't match it. So, pretty sure that's how that went. Now, Ty, the other night, because Tony, I'm sorry, I'm never above shameless self-promotion. Tiberius and I actually went back and forth on Truth and Fiction podcast, Truth and Fiction Pod on YouTube, about a little place that's had a little bit of influence, and that's a little place called Ukraine. And we did that there on Truth and Fiction Pod. Damn, you guys! I know. It's just everybody, come on in. And so that's another place to check us out, and that's also the impetus of Osiris is the man behind the scenes, the power behind the curtain, if you will, the great Wizard of Oz of Truth and Fiction. Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain. But yes, that is Osiris here. He is also an amazing part of that show. Now, Tiberius, by the end of that show, we had some exchanges. You laid out the history, but even then, it begrudged you. It pained you to say, like, oh no, we got Grow the Farm. No, K.O.E, I'm living free in the head of Tiberius D. Oh no, we got Grow the Farm up here too, folks. It's pandemonium. It's on, folks. It's on like Donkey Kong. Yes. So I think.
Did you get through this thought yet, Phil?
No, I got at least 10 more minutes I can fucking fire off here. I was about to say, feel free to jump in here, guys.
I mean, it sounds like you got it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, all right. I'll just
we'll just sit back in the comments. It's fine. You got this.
Yeah. So, Ty, welcome to the show.
Yeah, where am I again? What did I sign on for?
Apparently, the Phil K.O.E. Grand Spectacular live stream hosted
I was about to
Big Buck
say
Empire.
the Phil K.O.E.
Wait. In all fairness, isn't that what the show usually is?
Yeah, no, that's standard fare.
The Phil K.O.E. thrill ride.
Like,
yes.
don't get me wrong.
I've got shit ready to go, and yeah, tonight I don't. So, Tiberius, no matter how much you try, you can't derail whatever paragraph or story I'm gonna try because I got shit. I mostly got shit. Like we've got
the Phil K.O.E. thrill
I'm not
ride
married to it this week. So try
true.
as you might. You're not going to derail my segment.
Look,
I
apologize for derailing your things. I legitimately do. I hate to fuck up your flow, but I am honored that my presence does enact a certain level of change. I'm honored to have that distinguishment. So I do appreciate that part.
We need to make the Tiberius poster of like the Obama campaign, like change.
I think they just gave me cancer.
I'll get right on that.
Jesus.
Actually.
Okay. Well, luckily, like I just reported, Moderna's got a cancer vaccine that's actually making some interesting breakthroughs. So we'll see how that develops in the future. But all right.
So I'm drinking Glenlivet 12 Scotch tonight, Phil. I don't know if you want to do the standard intros like we.
Oh,
or if
Tony,
you just want to keep rambling.
I was about to say, Tony, I just like to make the intro of the show the train wreck that is the amazing, beautiful disaster that is Phil K.O.E. I'm kind of like a force of nature. Let's find out what I'm about to say together. But yes,
okay, did you seriously just call yourself a beautiful disaster?
And a force of nature.
That's what like a 28-year-old woman with like 4 different kids from 4 different dudes says about herself after she's OD'd a couple times and gets a tramp stamp in her late 20s. I'm a beautiful disaster.
That sounds
say that sounds like, you know, at least
Phil,
minus the 4 kids.
Phil, I didn't mean to get your nipples hard. I'm sorry. That's what my goal was.
Hot single moms? What are you talking about? But no, what I'm drinking tonight is 1792 foolproof wine, beer, and spirits store pick. Excellent foolproof bourbon with a little bit of a banana flavor on the back.
That's that super high proof one, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. 125 proof.
Yeah, it's a good one. Not bad.
So, Osiris, Tiberius, what are you drinking or imbibing in this evening?
Sweet.
I'll
get into that a little later, Trey.
Looking at you guys' background, you and Tony, you guys have enough liquor for me and Tiberius. So I didn't come with liquor today. I just got a regular beer and some margarita that I'm about to get.
Got a beer in a mason jar. Nice.
This is how you know
that is Texan.
This is how you know I'm from the best part of the Midwest. We're actually near the South where you can get good sweet tea.
What?
Wait a minute.
You mean back east?
Did you say sweet
what
tea?
the fuck? The South is back east, motherfucker, and so are you. What the fuck? Like, yeah.
Sweet tea is not representative of the Midwest.
No, that's like this is the best part of where I live in the Midwest. We're close enough to the South. We have good sweet tea. It's
okay, like I'm sorry.
Tiberius is trying to piss off all of Texas right now.
But like I gotta say, Bandits put it best, and I'm sorry, Tiberius. No, you don't get to call yourself Midwest if you were part of the Union or Confederacy in the fucking Civil War. Okay, like no, you're out of Midwest contention, and no. Nebraska, the Midwest goat, acknowledge your tribal chief, just like Roman Reigns.
How long does it take to drive from border to border in Indiana? Curious. Like
depends. If you're going across the state, east-west, it's only about 2 hours, 30 minutes.
That's what I thought.
You might be able to do it in 3. Depends if you're going through Indianapolis or not. If you're talking north-south, it's like 7.
Yeah.
Like kind of the Nebraska thing, just literally the other cardinal directions.
It's kind of funny. It's like like because
like we're not too different than literally Nebraska laid on its side. Or I'm sorry, tilted up.
I think we're a little girthier, but
we got a little more girth and size.
Not to compare dick size.
I was about to say, how long does it take to drive north to south in that state? Would you say
in this state, probably 3.5 at least.
No, I'm in Indiana.
Yeah, so width-wise, you can probably do it in 2.5 hours. So we might be a little thinner, but that's by interstate, which you all don't have.
We literally have like
you have
the
I-80.
biggest interstate, I-80, the one that connects the whole fucking country together. Just a little old I-80. What do they know?
Okay, so I-40 would like a word, but anyway, the other side of that.
I-40 doesn't connect Mexico City to New York City and Los Angeles.
I-80 says take a number I-40. We've got like actual clients over here.
I was about to say, and I-80 intersections had the human trafficking numbers to back it up.
I wasn't going to go there. That's not a brag, Phil.
I don't.
It's a weird flex, but it's there.
A state dick waving contest.
Yes.
Texas has to have a word with all of that shit.
So hey, look, Texas can do Texas things. Like you're not a state, you're a region. Okay,
oh my God,
it's a country that doesn't require passports.
If you ask how long it takes to get from one side of Texas to the other, then you're not going to make it.
You better book a 3-day weekend.
No, like because when
whenever I go down to Texas, like we're driving from Nebraska, everybody cut jokes. There's 2 legs of the trip. There's the leg of the trip to get to Texas,
and
then there's the Texas leg of the trip, which is going to be longer than the whole time it took to get to Texas.
Yeah.
Because holy shit, like I was about to say, I wonder how much of Europe could actually fit in Texas. Probably a nice.
Texas is the size bigger than Spain, right?
Texas is bigger than any country within Europe outside of the Russians.
Pretty much.
Like, I'll have to double check, but the long and the short here.
So
just measure. Oh man,
literally, our state dick is twice as big as your state.
Is it really?
Like,
that is a girthy hog right there.
Like, yeah. So Cyrus, no, that's how deep we're going. We're going to state dick sizes.
Okay.
Like,
I'm here for it. Let's do it.
We're cornbread. We're corn fed. We're beef fed. Like, what can I say? What can I say? And like, I'm sorry, Tiberius. I mean, all those Midwestern states that border Kentucky, but like, goddamn it, you're back east, motherfucker. Like, I don't know.
Wait, I'm curious about this argument. So there's the South, the East, the Northeast, then the Midwest. Is there another part that I don't know about?
Some people like
the Desert West,
something called like the Great Plains,
Mountain West.
It's not a thing.
Talking about okay, so talking about super
like
regions,
Okay, I'll be fine with the Midwest encompassing everything except Tiberius's yard.
Yeah, so
one foot.
All right, so super regions, there's literally like 5, right? There's the Northeast, there's the South, there's the Midwest, and there's the West, right? And then you like subdivide down. Like you have Cascadia, you have the Plains, you have the lake states, you have the Foundry, you have Texas because Texas is cheating.
Yeah,
I mean, I always say that Texas is the South on one part and the Southwest on the other part.
Dude, seriously, Texas, why did you steal about 1/3 of Oklahoma? Like, look at the fucking map.
Because Oklahoma is not a real state either, because that's just a native reservation.
Oh my god!
And the west part of Texas is just we took that's just the part of New Mexico they didn't need either, so we took that.
They didn't need it.
It's like there's only El Paso there, nothing they're missing, right?
We didn't need that. That's where we put our wind farms. It's cool. Don't worry about it.
My brother
lives not just everything on this side of the river, I guess.
My brother lives in Texas, and one of my favorite quotes of his of all time was, he'd come up here and we'd like go out to eat Mexican or something. He'd be like, yeah, it's good, but like it's way better in Texas because like we have real Mexicans. And I went, what? Yeah, we have the real Mexicans down there, so they make better Mexican food. I'm like, what the fuck do you?
Are there fake Mexicans?
Apparently, I didn't know.
We have more Mexicans. He should have said that. I'll go with that.
I think what he meant was geographically we're closer to Mexico because apparently that makes a difference.
I would say this: Texas Mexican food is probably not real Mexican food. It's some amalgamation of Tex-Mex stuff.
Tex-Mex,
yeah, and we're not even going to talk about Taco Bell. That don't count. That's not real. It's not even real food.
I mean, it does when you're drunk at 2 a.m.
That's the best food when you're drunk. That's drunk food. That's not Mexican food.
No.
I'm actually surprised to see how much bigger Nebraska is. If you look at it on a map, it doesn't look that much bigger.
Well, we don't want to make you feel inadequate.
Oh, we're always inadequate.
No, they probably do the opposite thing. They probably do to us what they do to Alaska. Like if you look at Alaska on a map, it's not that huge, but then when you look at it in action, holy fuck, Alaska's huge. And
it depends. The problem with Alaska on any map is that it's either like way too big to scale to where it looks like it's 1/3 of the continental US, or it's way too small and it's literally just like hemmed in there at the bottom of the map in the corner.
Looks like it's 3 New Hampshires.
Yeah, growing up, I thought it was the same size as Hawaii.
Yeah, right. And then
that's how the map made it look.
It's actually not too much bigger than Texas. It's like 1.5 Texases, but it's not like, oh my god, it would literally eat the West, because there's some maps that literally show it that big.
Did you just say it's not much bigger and then basically just said it's overtime compared
it's
to
it's one
Texas and a half? Like that's
it's time and a half.
Yeah, it's when I say it's not that much bigger, I'm saying like, hey, a lot of people make it look like on a map that it's 3 times the size of Texas. Like it literally would cover like everything from Montana down to Arizona.
Well, it'd be like comparing like America to Russia. In terms of landmass, Russia's like twice the size, but America's got like twice as many people in terms of population.
And twice as much more America, so that makes us just more better.
Oh, it's
So,
100%
like, I'm sorry.
more America.
Yeah, 200% more America, and so that, and we got a way better ag base. Let's just be frank. So if we're gonna start throwing those measuring contests down, like, sorry, America, we just win in every way. We got more freedom, we got more America, we got more just everything. We got more trees. We're ready to go. So
speaking of Nebraska, though, what do you guys lead the nation in on? Anything?
Kicking
usually
ass.
beef exports. Believe it or not, we actually beat out Texas quite a few years, and lately, especially after that last drought, really destroyed a lot of cattle ranchers in Texas. So yeah, we're if not the top, we're number one or two, depending on the year, beef producers in the entire nation. So
Let's
yeah,
not forget the Ogallala Aquifer.
the beautiful Ogallala Aquifer
and the wonderful unicameral. I mean,
now you can tell this isn't the 90s because we're not bragging about football at all.
Oh no.
I mean, I only brought it up because he had the football helmet behind him.
No, we know.
The football helmet looks like it's from the 70s, so I understand.
Still our helmet.
It's still the same helmet. It's just that's how long since we've been championship relevant.
Classic look.
I'm sorry. It's like our vintage look is the last one they've seen. So like,
I'm sure if we glam that up, our woes are going to turn right the fuck around.
Now, Alesto's asking, say the name of that aquifer again. Now, the aquifer is named after a tribe here in Nebraska, and there's actually a town named after it, and it's called Ogallala. Starts with an O. In fact, I'll just make sure to get the spelling right for you right here, right now. Let's see here. Okay, Ogalllah, Ogallala. It's the name of our aquifer, and it's the name of a tribe that's not around anymore. So yeah, it's a mouthful. Ogallala. Yep. So bandit. So yeah. Like a lot of the names here in Nebraska are based on native language. Like Nebraska is actually the Omaha tribe's name for the Missouri River. They call it Nebraska, and that became known as our land, Nebraska. And Omaha was a tribe, and so a lot of our state's heritage comes from native tribes in one way or another. And so yeah, we named our aquifer the Ogallala Aquifer. Yeah, like, well, some of it's not. Like, some of it has some European influence, but there's quite a bit of like I said, the very name Nebraska, it comes from Nebraska, which was I believe the Omaha name for the Missouri River. So yeah, that's actually the name of our aquifer, the Ogallala Aquifer, and it's actually where the water that makes up this whiskey here, this Loop River Bourbon, Nebraska Straight Bourbon Whiskey. It's actually where the water comes from. It's from the Ogallala Aquifer, and that's one of the reasons I really love this stuff. Yeah, a lot of farmers around here will even call themselves the sons and daughters of Ogallala.
So
it's a touchy subject. Touchy subject.
Something that's a little scary for Texas, and it's also New Mexico, Oklahoma, and to some degree Kansas, is that you guys are seeing dust storms again, sizable ones that are firing off. I think you guys already had 3 this year. And granted, this wouldn't go to Osiris's neck of the woods, but literally yesterday, I can show you.
We are joined by Grow the Farm Up, Ogallala Aquifer, the deepest Argentine natural freshwater bedrock, clean, crisp, cool drinking water, 3rd largest aquifer in the world. Nebraska is number 1 in almost all agricultural processing quality. So yeah, the Ogallala Aquifer is pretty much the reason we're able to live here. And I might actually, after this video is over, I might actually play the video that talks about the area that I'm here at, and how when irrigation hit in 1958, how it changed. Well, it hit before that, but how it affected our county up to the point of 1958.
You guys like the satellite feed of an entire dust storm kicking up over all of northern Texas.
Anywhere
going
between
into
400 to 400
Oklahoma.
feet deep.
It's
Most wells
quite-
go to about 180.
quite scary
to
because they are
270
having
feet.
they are having dust bowl
They're
level
all way off.
droughts.
No, that's
in
just
basically
the
where those
type
5
of,
states come together.
aquifer.
I think that kind of speaks to the conversation we had about the climate change. I think there's something crazy going on, and it doesn't seem like nobody important is talking about it. At least when it comes to planning and aid and what's to come in the future. Definitely it's going to be a situation that needs to be taken care of, not at the last minute, or we're fucked.
And many shall die for lack of water. And yeah, that's unfortunately there's areas of Texas that are hitting that, and huge swaths of California that are hitting that. But like California just doesn't want to acknowledge reality, so I don't know what's going to happen there. So yeah, I feel for you because I remember I was talking to some buddies down there who were Texas cattle ranchers, and when their well went dry, that was pretty much it. You just sell the cattle, and that's it. You have lovely pasture ground. Let's see, grow the farm up. We don't have that on our land because we plant cover crops to save our valuable Midwest soil. Yes, cover crops. It's a new thing. Grow the farm up. He's really this isn't new to Texas, but yeah, like it's something I definitely would recommend. Go to Grow the Farm Up on YouTube to learn about a more sustainable way and how cover crops can do some amazing things for your soil. So, but yeah, that's the green thumb that is Grow the Farm Up. And son of a biscuit, keep knocking that over. But anyways, so
how much snow did you end up getting?
At one point we got like 6 inches, and then like this morning just had a dusting.
Yeah, closer to South Dakota, they're expecting like 1.5 feet here, like maybe tonight, I think, or tomorrow possibly. It's been up and it's been all over the place, but there was a lot. The further north you get,
Only
Find
if they
shelter
make
chicken.
Shark Week
yeah, no shit.
a national holiday.
Regenerative farming. There we go. Grow the Farm Up. It's like, get it right, motherfucker. Jesus Christ. But yeah, if you want to see more about regenerative farming, Grow the Farm Up's the place to be. So, all right, gentlemen, we've done quite a bit of trying to kick out Midwesterners and try to bring in, because I don't know if you know this, Osiris, that is Midwesterners' favorite hobby, is arguing over who is and isn't in the Midwest. We've been doing that for like 60
That's all we
years.
got.
You guys
Like,
gotta adopt the Texas way of doing things. Just take it all over, and then nobody can argue about it.
Now the problem is between India and Nebraska.
That sounds
all
like a
of us
very Putin way to look at things. I don't know if I
Hey,
like that.
and that is a great ham-fisted segue.
Before we segue, I do want to mention those of you watching on Facebook. I know the notifications have been absolute dog shit here the last like month or two, and it looks like we're getting a little bit coming in on Facebook now. I don't know why the notification isn't working, but if you do jump in on Facebook, or you haven't jumped in on Facebook, if you're watching from YouTube, I do recommend watching on Facebook because you can get in on the paid subscription portion of Facebook if you so choose. It is a $5 a month endeavor. And what
just $5 a month?
Just $5 a month. And what you get for that is such a value, folks. I can't stress this enough, because at least once to twice a show for $5 a month, you will get to either mute Phil, which I highly recommend. You can make him take a gin shot. You can make me chug a beer. If you want to make Phil sing, you can do that like twice a show. Or just don't do that. Make him take gin shots. He loves gin shots. And those Facebook subscribers, I did bust out the Chug Buddy. I have that with me tonight. So I'm gonna dust this bad boy off if anybody decides I need to chug a beer. So moving forward, that is on the table for you Facebook paid subscribers.
All right. So, all right. Yes, paid subscribers, come on, bring it. I know you want to, and I'm going to say it. Come on, bring it. Put them up. None of you got the guts to make me or Tony take shots or chug. None of you got. Bring it on. I'll take on a lot of yous. So there we go, folks. I think I gave a good little amount of motivation there. So, all right, now with that ham-fisted segue done, Tiberius, you and I got into Ukraine the other night. Very interesting debate, great back and forth, spirited time. But since then, we've had a breaking news bulletin, if you will. We've had a new thing develop. We've had a treaty that has been in place since 2010 that the Ruskies have decided to pull out of. And I got to say, with this whole conflict, the fact that I get to bring back the term Ruski, that's like that'll like okay, like wow, it's the 80s all over again. You fucking Ruski bastards, we're not gonna stand for this. And so yes, we're gonna have Star Wars. And we're gonna stop it all. Yes. So it's the 80s all over.
That is way too good, dude.
I almost made him fucking lose his SpaghettiOs, man. Like that was fucking great. Oh man, yes.
Dude, I wasn't even alive for the Reagan presidency, but I know that was on point. Come on,
Nancy. Is it time for my Betty Buys now? Like yes, like yeah. So
Yeah.
okay, I do a pretty decent Reagan, I must say.
your Reagan is better than your Trump.
I don't know about that. My Trump is marvelous. My Trump is majestic. It's the best impression ever. Now this it's like I said. Why do you think I voted for Trump? I didn't have a Biden impression. I needed him to win. So. Tony, take a shot. I said, yep, Alesto, he is making Tony take the first
I have
shot.
to use an empty vodka shooter because I don't have a shot glass for some reason. So I had to pour the gin into an empty vodka.
Imagine
shooter.
having 100 bottles of liquor and no shot glass. Wow.
Exactly. It makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Oh,
Oh Lord. I got a little glass here for if anybody wants me
now,
to
throw the
do
farm
such
out.
a
I'm
thing.
just gonna say a little later here, Tony acts like I don't think he intended to fully, but he roasted Ty deeper than any of us could ever hope to. It was like, oh, even I didn't comment on it because it was like, oh, Tony, damn.
But I'm gonna get through some comments here. I'm gonna let Tiberius kind of get the palette of his mind ready for
Oh, it's
because
ready.
oh, okay. Let me catch up here. Alesto, twice annually, diversity is our root. Rhizosphere is essential to keeping soil structure alive and working 365 days a year. Grow the farm up. Thanks for that. Salute. Grow the farm. Another reason we know Nebraska is better than Indiana is I just ate prime rib. Tiberius ate spaghetti. God damn. Okay, that's rough. And Tiberius like, I'm eating
Wow.
Cheerios, you motherfucker. What the fuck? And like, what are you eating, Ty? The audience, the KOE Nation, Big Bucking Empire needs to know.
Chef Boyardee.
I was right, motherfucker. All right. Fucking SpaghettiOs, motherfucker. All right.
not like
so
they're bad, like they're good.
now I will say, like, yeah, Nebraska's prime rib it's pretty good. It's pretty fucking good. Oh my God, you have no idea. If you can find the right place that's having a prime rib buffet, you will eat better than Kings did over the last 1,000 years. So it's
all
it's
true.
def-
All of it.
I'm sorry. I don't have any prime rib. I can't afford it. I'm just a poor white boy trying to make it in today's society.
Down here we have
what?
$3 steaks. Just saying. You come
Nice,
steak-
nice.
we got steaks.
All
out
right. Seriously, $3 steak. What is it? The fucking bulls testicles?
I was about to say, like, I feel like you
No, you got to pay extra for that.
I was
you would
gonna
have
say,
a better, you'd have an easier time cutting this bottle with your knife than a $3 steak. Like,
Yeah,
my
do you
God.
cut those steaks with fucking Thor's Molgener? Like, how
Amazing.
you-
Actually,
You cut it with a
obviously it's not the
Mjolnir?
best cut of steak, but it's not bad steak. I'll tell you that. If you just want to have steak that night for whatever reason, you can have.
Okay. Like, I don't know.
and you
I
can
don't
have
know
it
if you,
for 6 nights in a row because that's how long it'll take you to chew it.
oh, Cyrus, I don't know if you know this, but there's an old phrase in boxing and MMA about a guy that's like really tough. They say he's tougher than a $2 steak. It's like now you got $3.
Yeah.
But the fact that it exists
Inflation, Phil.
is a blessing.
Yeah,
Amazing.
true. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. But
Even
like,
a bad steak is still a steak.
Exactly. That's what I'm
no,
saying.
like
That's all I'm
Tiberius, there's
saying.
one place that like it's like $20 and it's a prime rib buffet, all you can eat. And like I always kind of joke, like when I walk in, like, all right, I'm one of the few motherfuckers gonna be getting my money's worth here tonight. So yeah, like all y'all the fuckers, no, you know, like KOE is here to show you how it's done. Show you how it's done.
Chinese
So-
buffet fucking cowers when Phil rolls into the parking lot. All right?
Oh yes, like motherfucker.
This guy.
Wait, all right. So, Phil, the camera's always a little deceptive. How tall, how heavy are you?
This is where
I'm
Tony roasts.
4'2". Like no, actually the camera's a little deceptive. Tony is actually 6'5".
Yeah, Yeah, that's it.
and so that makes me actually 7'3". So no, actually I'm 6'3" and getting closer to 300. Not quite there, but I'm getting there. So I do need to lose a little bit of weight. I want to get back to 265 heavyweight fighting weight. So if any motherfucker ever talks shit on the internet and wants to hop in the boxing or MMA cage with me, I can just jump right in right then and there. So like that's preferably where I want to get back to be. Yeah, 6'3", big some bitch. Life is fucking beautiful. And guess what, folks? You're not going to be able to jog or sit up your way to immortality. So just enjoy life while you're here. Because if you got hit by a bus tomorrow, don't you wish you ate a few more donuts and steaks?
Phil K.O.E. just always the advocate for living the Slavish lifestyle.
Oh, shit. All right. I'm going to check my invites to Canada.
All right. So, Tony, how about you? Are you this big of some bitch, or are you, kind of average size?
Well, I mean, it depends what.
Okay. This is where it gets pretty roasty here, Tony. Tony mentioned something that Tiberius like. I don't want to talk about that, but like, grow the farm up. Tiberius eats a lot of Chef Boyardee, the fine dining brain food choice of all the elitist experts. 5 courses of China glop noodles soaked in red glop sauce, canned 3 years ago in Ukraine. LOL. Shane. Bill is an absolute beast. This is true. This is true. Now, folks, this is where it gets a little roasty. Just watch.
But category you're asking, I'm actually fairly short. I'm 5'7". That's why it's always such a diverse look when I'm standing next to Phil.
Oh, I bet.
Wait, I missed that. How tall was Phil? I'm sorry.
He's
6'3".
6'3".
God damn. Yeah.
No, what's funny is like a lot of people in our town are about my like because Tony thinks he's short at 5'7", but then when he went to Houston, like you were just like,
well, it's full with Mexicans and people.
Everybody was your height in Houston, Texas.
So we have a situation. Our population is being born into
damn,
put it in a nice way
Tony's
into a
sitting
shorter
in a high
population,
chair.
right?
God
So that
damn.
don't count. All right, don't count Houston, okay? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I'm like 8 inches shorter than Phil, but we're like the same width.
So
Phil towers over most of us. Got it.
Yeah.
How tall are you, Ty? I'm curious.
I'm actually only 5'8".
Okay.
Like I got pictures of me, CTB, and Connor is 6'4", just towering over us, but he's scrawny as fuck. And then you've got CTV, which is just a little taller than me. Like he's like 5'10", and he's scrawnier than I am. But yeah, it's just kind of interesting to find out.
Counting the hair or not? Because I feel like that gives you an extra 2 inches.
I'll leave that where it is. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just interesting because like I couldn't.
Tony knows.
Hey, look, if I had hair, I'd be counting it too. There's a reason I wear the hat.
It's just interesting to see because.
Ouch. Oh, God. I mean, that hurt me vicariously. Tony knew. He's like, Tiberius, does that count the 2-inch poof of hair there? I'm like, oh, dude, even I'm not going there. Fuck, man. Bennett, isn't the average 5'6"? I don't see the regular. I'm 6'1", depending on which convenience store I'm leaving. That's a good one. I like that. Yeah, depending on which. I'm a 6'3", and a half, depending on which convenience store I'm leaving. He counts the hat anyway. Oh man, Shane just brutal. But like, yeah, that was like, oh, dude, Tony, ouch, that hurt me vicariously. Well, yeah, I don't go after people's physical stuff. I mean, I'm a big guy. Now, when people make fun of me for being fat, it's just my excuse to fire back. Like, yeah, the reason I'm fat is because every time I fuck your mother, she makes me a sandwich. It's a great line. Works. Used it in traffic one time when a guy called me a fat fuck and he shut him right up. It was actually pretty funny. Grow the farm up hair poof. That's a rough realization. That's vanity. Oh, damn. Alessa, I'm 5'8", but can shrink to 5'5" depending on time of day since my spine shrinks because of heavy weight lifting. Okay. Yeah, I've noticed being over 6 foot gives me a leg up in the dating pool. I've just noticed it does. There's nothing. And like I feel for people that like, because it's really weird. Like there is this problem in the, like, yeah, there's a huge difference between 5'11" and 6 foot, and I don't know why. But like to me, like everybody's always called me, yeah, you're a big guy. And to me, I was like, well, to me, my size is quite normal, actually. I always said that at the MMA jam when people were like, yeah, you're a real big guy. Well, to me, my size is quite normal, but I take what you mean.
You look at somebody in the camera and you're like, I'm not used to that. I thought that Osiris was going to be fucking huge. Like, I'm like, all right, this dude's going to like bust through the screen and kick my ass kind of thing, right? And then I get there, I'm like, oh, you're just 6 foot and you're actually pretty lean.
Oh, wait a minute. Don't take that inch away from me. I'm 6'1". Get it right. Get it right. My brother's 6'3", though, and he's skinnier than me, though.
I figured Phil would, very round, but I didn't know if he was going to be the like tall and round or if he was going to be like the stocky and round.
Like, so you were wondering if I was going to be like the Penguin from Batman?
Yes.
Like, it's like, okay, is that like the thing? Like, no, like, not quite. But no, like one time I did when I was training in MMA, get to go up against a sumo wrestler, and that was because I thought, I'll be able to throw my weight around. No. not like a sumo wrestler. And all right, we've got somebody that's trying to come in, getting some technical difficulties. I'll wait till he gets his camera going, but we're actually going to be joined by Jacanadar, Tony. Believe it or not, I actually found somebody who believes in some tenets of Marxism that isn't completely insane. It took me some time, but I found one. And so, yeah, when he gets his camera going, we'll bring him right on in. And I'm looking forward to him. He's actually really good shit. But so
devout communist and actually isn't insane about it. It's kind of shocking.
Yeah. So but yeah, like I'll be honest, like when I got into MMA, like my height was great and everything, my size is perfect, but
Tony basically talks Jacanadar out of being a Marxist. Like it was actually pretty fun to watch. Like Jacanadar, interesting guy, but yeah, Tony over enough time talks him out of it basically. If you mess up your back from basic things, you don't now. Yeah, I've heard like Hulk Hogan, I think this is a little bit of an exaggeration. He claimed he was 6'9", 6'10", and because of his spinal injuries, he's only 6'2" now. I could believe he was 6'4", 6'5", and he's 6'2" now. I could believe that. But now, far be it from a professional wrestler to ever exaggerate. But yeah, that's I could believe that.
I wanted to fight at heavyweight because Daniel Cormier kind of revealed something about that, and that's the heavyweights are the worst athletes.
No.
In MMA especially, and in just about anything, the heavyweights are the worst. The most competitive division is light heavyweight at 205.
Yeah, but it wasn't fair for a while because for a while there, like the heavyweight division in the UFC was like Randy Couture, Brock Lesnar, roided out Frank Mir. Like they got rid of Tim Sylvia and actually brought in people with like physiques, and now it kind of went back the other way. Yeah, Daniel Cormier proved you also don't have to be that fucking tall, apparently.
Well, Tony, what happened is USADA's tests got really good.
Yeah, there's that.
They got really, really good.
There is that.
So, like, and that's why when I throw out my challenge to Andrew Tate, I say just to get any United States commission to okay an open weight fight, come here stateside and meet me in the MMA cage and let's do it. And let's be frank, Tony. He's not going to be, and since he's been in a jail cell for a while, so he hasn't had access to human growth hormones and all those PEDs, and since he'll be on in-competition drug testing, he's going to come into the match about that big around. He's going to be about that wide. That's going to be his muscle structure. So I'm going to be, now the problem is trying to connect with a punch with a bean pole. That'll be my hardest thing, but other than that, like, yeah, if he's not like, because, you know, guys, you've seen pictures of Andrew Tate when he was like 19, 20, and he was a little beanpole. And it's just natural for men to get bigger and stronger the older they get, right? So,
Sure.
so yeah, I've thrown it down, but yeah, Andrew Tate, your silence speaks volumes. Rather throw yourself in a Romanian cell than throw yourself in a cage with me.
It's a good excuse. You got to give him credit.
Oh, wait,
All
are
right,
you
hey,
challenging Andrew Tate? Is this what's happening here?
Yes.
Did I stutter?
I just want to be clear.
I threw it down. It's an MMA cage. Come stateside.
Peace, Yank.
And yeah, just make sure that you're not on all that human growth hormone. Winky face. Allegedly. Let me throw that out there. Not like I'm sorry, but his lawyers are going to be busy for a while. So I don't think we got to worry about him coming after anybody.
All right.
wouldn't think.
But before our good friend Jakandar gets here, can we get through this particular story? Because I don't have a lot of time to be here because I'm in the superior Midwest time zone of Eastern Standard Time.
Oh,
Further proves your northeastern status, but that's fine.
like I hate how all the panels are on.
There's a
Eastern
reason it's
time
called
zones.
Central Standard Time, and you're
Oh.
living in that Eastern time zone. But I digress.
But like I call it time zone privilege because all the panels are on Eastern time, Ty. And so it's like, yeah, fuck you and your time zone privilege. That's all I have to say to that. So but all right, let's see. So Ty, this little treaty of mine, the Russians aren't gonna let it shine. This little treaty of mine, it won't shine. Ty, take it away.
I don't know how to actually follow up from that. I really don't. But
Just walk right past it. That's what I usually do.
okay, fair enough. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, the day of that we recorded the Ukraine episode over on the Truth and Fiction podcast, there was a piece of information that did not get through my filter because usually people have to give me a call. So the big news I'm always a little bit late on because I got to let it sit through the experts. During a speech to Russia's, basically their Congress, is that Putin has announced that he's withdrawing from START 3. START is the Strategic Arms Limitation Treaties. Officially, the first one was signed back in 90 with the Soviet Union, and then you had START 2, which was like in 94. There was another treaty, and then START 3, which was signed during the Obama administration. Officially, the Russians are withdrawing from START 3. More likely, they're probably withdrawing from all of it. What do these treaties? Go ahead.
I don't think, like to my understanding, they allow inspectors to kind of poke around at nuclear sites. I don't think Russia's going to be letting Western inspectors into their nuclear sites anytime soon. Call me crazy. I think they're just going to be like, no, niet, get fucked. Like, I think it's going to be closer to that.
That was one of the conditions for Treaty 3. However, the hilarious part of it is that it's a year after the invasion, and now they're only formally leaving. So there's a level where, if you will, the animosity had not gotten to the point where treaties are being broken and, diplomatic tensions are on the rise. The other side of this, though, is that, is this something to be concerned about? And for anyone who doesn't know, a lot of the START 3 treaty was we allowed mutual inspectors to come over to one another's areas, particularly our nuclear facilities, and basically everyone gets to check each other out and be like, oh yeah, you're basically treaty compliant or you're not. The other
Ronald Reagan trust but verify.
Pretty much. Anyway, the second part of this is the limiting of launchers, particularly certain types of vehicles. So you basically aren't allowed to. I know this may sound stupid, but you're not allowed to weaponize like a B-52 bomber with cruise missile nukes. You're not allowed to have basically the Russian Scud launcher and have those nuclear tipped. There's some number of details there, but this is what they've officially withdrawn from. Is that one, there's no more inspectors. And then on the other side of that is that they're basically saying, hey, if we want to nuclear tip our short-range ballistic missiles, we can do that now.
Yeah, we got the article pulled up here from USA Today. Putin suspends nuclear arms treaty as U.S.-Russia tensions build amid Ukraine war anniversary. I'm not going to pretend to know how to pronounce Kim Hijimagard and Joey Garrison of USA Today report.
You're halfway there.
I feel like I was really
Helmagard.
Sure, there you go. Tensions between U.S. and the Kremlin ratcheted up Tuesday ahead of the one-year anniversary of Russia's war in Ukraine as Vladimir Putin vowed to pull Russia back from a key nuclear treaty, and President Joe Biden reaffirmed the U.S. and its allies won't back down. Putin's move came on the heels of a surprise and historic visit by Biden to Kiev on Monday. quote unquote historic, in a nearly 2-hour speech to both houses of the Russian parliament. Putin said he was suspending Moscow's participation in the New START, a strategic nuclear arms reduction treaty between the U.S. and Russia. So I guess that really does. I mean, it sounds really super scary when you read it in a headline like this. But is this really just more of Russia trying to flex in desperation mode during something that they didn't think was going to take as long as it has and possibly won't even come to fruition? Or is this a real threat? Because on the surface, if they withdraw from this, it's really just kind of like taking your Boy Scout badge off, right? Like you could still do something if you're a part of this, but what does this really mean long term? What does this really mean short term? Is this really a real actual threat? Is this really a slap in the face of anybody? Is this really planting their foot down and saying we are strong? Or is this just kind of a very indirect thing that means nothing long term?
It's more of a middle finger. Like that's kind of what I see it as a big middle finger. And a couple of things, 2 things actually. Tony, this also gets us closer to the railgun from Metal Gear Solid. Okay, like where now you can deliver a nuclear warhead almost anywhere in the world using a railgun technology. We're now much closer to that now that we're out of this.
Goodness,
now, like, because the United States is going to build that shit first. Okay, I mean, I'm sorry, the Russians and ET are about to find out why Americans don't have free health care. Okay, it's
on this show
because of our military-industrial complex, motherfucker. And second of all, welcome Jacanadar to the show, good sir. Welcome, good sir. How we doing?
Yeah, for whatever reason, StreamYard is saying my camera is held hostage by OBS, even though OBS has since been closed. Discord has been closed, so there's literally nothing connected to my camera.
Jacanadar, neat guy. Girl the Farm Up goes, Tiberius was in Lord of the Rings, right? Was he that elf that got killed stepping on a rake in the first 10 minutes of the movie? I might be mistaken. Clarification? Oh my God. Well, it says start in the article. Yeah.
Yet when I hit start camera, it's like something has control of your camera. Please make it go away and then try again. Like
the era of the Zoom meeting. We've all had that.
You need to go to Task Manager and make sure that background services running.
Canadar's the tech asshole on this one. Jeez.
I'll check that in a minute. Osiris, I went old school. I actually unplugged the motherfucker and plugged it back in to make sure
that is
disconnected.
That's not what.
And I don't know what to do. May God have mercy on your soul.
Well, no, I was like,
plug back in, and that didn't do it.
Yeah, I was like, if anything's got a hold of it, me unplugging it is going to make all of them freak the fuck out when I plug it back in.
You might just want to take
what I do. You know what I do when things break? I just slap my dick on it, and usually they just work.
The magic goes
it's like a magic wand. Just do that.
I was about to say, it's like,
unfortunately,
it's like a lucky, like, it's like a lucky leprechaun. Slap me magic dick on it. What? Like,
oh my God. Well, wait, I'm not Irish. Why'd you do that?
See, I'm the Irish.
It's like that's always like. I'm trying to think, like, what mythical creature would have a magic dick? And the best I could come up with is leprechaun.
A mandingo, obviously. What are you talking about?
Well, no, I mean, like, honestly, even if I were to try what is being recommended here by Osiris, the only thing I'd have to smack is an exposed heat sink. And nah, dude, I don't want blisters. I'm good.
Okay. Take the disc out of the DVD player, breathe on it, wipe it with your shirt. And put it back in.
This guy obviously played Nintendo. He knows what's up.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
I was
blow in the cartridge.
Like, oh God, why can't
that
fix
being
everything?
Said, going back to the article, no, this is a lot of bullshit, and that's funny. It's a lot of posturing. It's a lot of dick waving and saber rattling, because when it comes right down to it, even if we go by the last figures that we can verify, which is 2018. They still have enough to end the world 3 times over. If they add more, what's the difference?
Yeah, like now I think in reality, if we did do the actual exchange launch, it's not going to be the destroys the world like 6,000 times. That's not going to be what we actually get. What's going to happen is about 56 missiles launch on all sides and destroy most of the relevant infrastructure. And then the world of Fallout, what we thought was an alternate universe, now becomes a documentary.
Well, actually, this is something I was
4.
talking about with somebody last night. It's like the 500 weapon nuclear exchange is a joke. Yes, that is what is predicted. but there is no plan for that. We have to plan for the smaller things because that's the only thing we have a chance at hell at surviving.
So two things. One, if you watched my particular this latest episode of Truth and Fiction, then you'll know that this is
Which you better.
true. If you haven't seen this, this may sound as a little bit off, but this is basically message received from the Russians, because what we have been slowly rolling up to and communicating for a while on the Western approach is basically this: we do not believe that the Russian government deserves the right to exist anymore. And what we have been seeing,
Putin's at the head.
yes, and what we have seen from Western leadership, and good God, Jack, your mic is peaking something.
Sorry,
Something terrible, sir.
Yeah. Anyway,
I'll fuck with it.
like I wish to some degree that the Biden administration would just go mask off and say how they really feel, because I don't think the American people remotely realize the danger that we are all in, and that is nuclear war is a lot closer than a lot of people think, because what it comes down to is that the Russians have now gotten the message. We do not tolerate the existence of the Russian government. The Biden administration now has openly said, and particularly in this last week, we're all in. We will continue to support Ukraine until either Ukraine falls or Russia can no longer persecute the war.
Yeah. No, I agree with this, but what I disagree with is that we are closer to nuclear war than ever before. That's just not the case. I would argue that 63 or not 63, 62 would have been that.
I just said that most people don't realize how close we are.
Well,
Like
I would say we're not really closer than we were in the 90s, because Putin can launch some small nuclear strikes, but he doesn't even have the ability to launch everything all at once. This is by our own analysts' fucking estimate. It would require multiple generals to sign off on launching the excess of exchange.
I said this the other night on Truth and Fiction. I just straight up said, no one is launching their nukes, folks. I'm sorry. Get ready. You're going to hear a lot of propaganda. No one is launching their nukes. Okay. I know we like to be afraid of it. It's not going to happen. There are deterrents to invasion.
I agree. The only thing that is going to potentially be in play is a tactical nuclear weapon on the ground, not a launched nuke. Now, do I believe this is actually?
Remember what I said, Tiberius?
No, wait. Do I believe this is a high probability? No, I don't. I actually believe in a very low probability event. I just also believe that Putin might be crazy enough to try it if he's desperate.
Well, no, I was just saying the other night, again, on Truth and Fiction, which you guys should go check out at Truth and Fiction Pod on YouTube. What I said was, it's like, what's going to happen, Ty, and you're going to hate me when you see it. You're going to hate me when you see this. Putin's going to use some sort of ordinance, any kind of ordinance, that might have even been in the same room as, maybe accidentally brushed up against some depleted uranium. And the Western media is going to be, Putin using tactical... And they're going to freak out about it. And you and I are probably going to be streaming that night.
Not a minor dirty bomb, not this extremist, because I agree with you. That is exactly what the fucking mainstream news will do. Mm-hmm. What I disagree with is I am saying that. I personally am saying that, no, yeah, real tactical nuke is a possibility, but that's only if he gets desperate. I'm thinking 18 months to 2 years from now, if this war is still going on, Putin might be desperate enough to use one.
That condition for most people and what they think desperation, if I am correct, will be in August.
I was about to say,
why
if
so
this
soon?
isn't
Because
by June, the end of June, I think it's just going to be this going on for years and years.
I've gone down in saying that whenever we get to campaign season, which clearly is not going to happen this winter because the ground can't freeze. So whenever it dries out, which is probably in May, unless they have a wet or a wet summer, which would be really fucking weird, is that you're going to have campaign season in full tilt. And you're going to see the best of Russia versus the best of Ukraine going mano a mano. Here's basically how it stacks up, and this is TLDR from the last episode. You have Russia, which is a large but poorly equipped, poorly motivated, does not believe in this particular fight. Basically, poorly equipped, poorly motivated, poorly trained, right? If not trained at all. Even if they may have 500 to 700,000 dudes in theater, versus Ukraine,
it'll probably be closer to 1 million because our numbers are always a little skewed in our favor.
I don't think they can actually put that many fucking people in the field. Their logistics are awful.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm
even
kinda
if they
with Ty on this one because every time they get a super massive conscripts, which is what they're doing to flesh out this 500,000 man push that they've been talking about, they have rebellions and escapes and people like fucking fighting and having to be put into stockades and shit because they don't want to go, they don't want to fight because they know their people are coming home in fucking boxes or not at all.
Also, keep in mind, all war is won by deception. Are you going to get more people to go onto the Ukrainian front if they know they're going up against 700,000 people, or if they think they're going up against 1 million people?
And it
Big
depends.
difference there.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of
so-
deception, you've got Ukraine is claiming that Russia's lost more troops than the U.S. did in World War One, close to 117,000 since the beginning of the full-scale invasion.
Yes.
Meanwhile, the U.S. is saying that Russia's lost between 60 and 80,000.
Somebody reported it literally in the last 2 days, but one of the intelligence agencies leaked that they saw like the internal Russian communiques to where they have their actual numbers versus our estimates. And so while the Russians are shit at their own numbers, the Russians are openly admitting to themselves that they have lost over 120,000.
God. No, it's the things this conflict is just not worth the lives already lost. So like, I'm looking forward to it ending however it has to end. My fear is at the end of June, and I'm calling this very definitively, at the end of June, whatever the lines are at the end of June are what the lines are going to be for the next several years. And then eventually my Berlin Wall 2.0 prediction is sadly going to come to fruition, and we're going to have to play political
Calm down,
hopscotch around the
Nostradamus.
state.
So wait, somebody help me out
Calm
here.
down,
because
Nostradamus. Because that's
I'm
not
not-
God.
Oh no, don't get me wrong. If that one proves right, I will never predict anything ever again. I'm just like, no, spiking the football.
Okay. Wait.
Tony's
wait.
like,
First of
Phil,
all-
fuck you.
Yeah. First of all, I'm with Tony. I don't believe you. Second of all, you have to change your name from Lord K.O.E to the Amazing Kresge. Fucking Jesus.
The Amazing Kreskin. Wow, that's a reference my grandpa would make. Wow. Yeah, like, I watched some Amazing Kreskin.
But I mean, like, seriously, the idea of a Berlin Wall 2.0 through Ukraine, you'd be talking about a wall that would be roughly 1,000 miles long.
It's not going to be the full length, but there's going to be some sort of structure where we have to play scotch around it.
Second of all, your time frame is too short. That is only if they can dig in for next winter. Because if Russia can dig in for next winter, you might have a point. But dude, it's not going to be settled this summer. Those
I'm saying at the end of June, that's what the lines are. At the end of June, they're not going to really move anything significant after that. You might have, because like the Art of War says, you can take facile ground where you can step a few steps into the enemy's territory, but it doesn't have any actual strategic value. That's facile ground. You'll have a few takings of facile ground here and there, but really by the end of June, that's going to tell you what the lines are for a very long time.
If you were talking to countries fairly independent fighting a war, I'd be arguing you have a point. Unfortunately, they have backing of multiple NATO countries supplying them with military might.
It's Russia versus NATO.
Which is going to dramatically change this, which is why I say if they can dig in for winter, you might have a point. It won't be these battle lines you're describing, if they actually happen, won't be decided this summer. It will be decided next summer at the earliest, because it will really be if they can because if this war goes into next winter, which I honestly don't believe it will. I believe it will be decided in the summer. I don't believe there'll be these battle lines you're thinking about. I believe Russia will be pushed out or Ukraine will fall. It will, because we are going to push it to that. As Ty pointed out, we have openly stated this in speeches by multiple high-end officials in our government, using very particular legal language to indicate that the Russian government is no longer tolerable to be on this planet as long as Putin is in charge.
Okay, two things I want to address that. First of all, Tony, can you give me full screen, because I got a double shot that I poured here because you both.
Yikes. But yeah, Bandit, you got it. Like, yeah, it's kind of a BS reaction because, yeah, the Berlin Wall was just one little area. It didn't go the entire border of the Iron Curtain, like you said. Like, brilliant. Like, you know, Wish I would have put it like that in the debate, but you totally get it, man. You totally get it.
Both gave
You
me
totally get it.
gin shots here. A couple of things. So for the subscribers, I'm going to say my great toast to fighting, stealing, and drinking. If you're going to fight, may it be for a friend. If you're going to steal, may it be a lover's heart. And if you're going to drink, by God, I hope it's with me.
That always gets him.
Drink better gin.
Oh, trying to polish off this beef eater.
I mean, that was your first
Beef
mistake.
eater. That's that I just graduated high school shit, huh?
Yeah. This is the kind of stuff you drink after you just like defeated your mortal enemy in
Okay,
hand-to-hand
when
combat.
I was in the UK, there was this little chain of like motels called the Beef Eaters, and the smell coming off of their breakfast was enough to make me not want to eat. And I am a chef. Like the fact that they named a gin in the same token with that, no, I'm good. It's going to be horrible. It needs never ever to be drank. It belongs right on the same shelf as Ron Rico.
These are all true things. Gin is awful. There's only a handful of them that are good. And yes, these are all truths. Now, Tony, he's getting ready for his.
Yeah.
You got to chug that bad boy.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And we just passed the 1 hour mark. So, yep, folks, bring them on. Bring them on. Bring them on.
I'm sorry, Tony.
I haven't done this for a while, so I've chugged beer, but I haven't used the chug buddy in a while.
Oh,
so this
dude.
could go.
Good
This
old
could go.
bushes. I like your choice there. What?
Just make sure you move
no.
the mic a little bit, just in case you get speared. We don't get death to the electronics.
Uh,
How does this
yeah,
thing work?
we're worried about the mic, not Tony.
What? I need one of these.
Bam! Are
Wait,
you
hold on.
fucking kidding me?
Wait, is that the whole bottle?
Yeah.
God
Tony,
damn, I
show
need
'em.
one of those.
Show 'em.
I need one of those.
They don't believe you. They don't think the
I don't-
bottle's empty.
I don't.
Show 'em.
Yeah, I don't.
No, Osiris. What that does is that tube that's going in is your
Turn it
air
upside down.
valve.
Turn it upside down.
There's a little foam.
Wow.
Wow.
All right. That's
Yeah.
impressive.
That's
Yeah.
impressive as fuck. Yeah,
Tony
I like that.
he's like that guy from the Man Show who could like down like beer just like as
He just
fast as
opens
it.
his throat.
You know what,
Yeah.
Tony?
It's-
You're invited to the
it's-
next barbecue. You, hey,
Justin, are you saying you want me to chug now? Because
Yeah, I think that's what he's saying.
God
too. I think
damn
he
it.
wants, yeah, he
If
wants you to chug.
If you have ever done a beer bong, you understand the principle of you have to open your throat or you're going to aspirate fucking beer foam. It's just that there is no two ways about it.
Yep. Tony's a master of this shit. All right, Tony. All right. Can he go all the way? Chug, 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 chug.
Wow, I
chug.
saw it go down that time.
Oh,
crazy.
That is pain. That is
What
pain,
the-
folks.
that's a whole 12-ounce bottle in like
Two of 'em,
3 seconds.
Back to back.
I
Yeah.
have an LED counter on the back, but I guess I need a battery.
Yep. Now,
Um,
say what
Like
you will about
yours.
us, folks.
You're
Here.
getting drunk as fuck.
If you're gonna, no,
Us
if you're gonna
Nebraskans
do,
can hold our liquor. Say what you will.
what you need to do is you need to get the one that has the impeller, so that as you chug, it spins a fucking impeller inside, and that's what powers it. They actually make one. They actually
Oh.
make one.
They found a way. It's like, dear beer chugging company, I can't get the beer in me fast enough. Find a way. It's
Hey,
like,
no, it
okay.
was-
you guys are giving me a reason to go to Nebraska
No,
because that's
no,
fucking
no, the-
impressive. I want to get down with that shit.
No, the impeller doesn't make the beer move faster. The impeller spins and powers the counter,
Oh,
so you don't
okay.
have to put batteries in it.
Oh,
It's self-powered.
wow. So what you're saying is we found a way to turn beer into energy. So folks, that's the greenest energy of all.
Well,
That's
hoppy is
beautiful.
energy, anyways.
It's a little hoppy.
I don't
Grow
remember
the
what
fu-
it's called, but I saw it on Amazon. Grow the farm up.
That's beautiful. So yes, folks, beer as energy. That's one of
I was actually looking. My
So
daughter
beautiful.
collects like shot glasses, and I was actually looking for like an interesting shot glass, and I saw it in like the little recommended bubble below it, and I was like, "What the fuck is this? Oh shit!"
oh nice. I was about to say, Tiberius, you're gonna have to get a bottle of like cheap bourbon or vodka or something the next time you come on, just so you can join. I mean, because the libations are always fun. And Jacanadar,
Pay
get your
me.
camera working. You need to
I
join.
mean,
grow the farm up.
but
Just
I'll figure this out next time, and when I do, you will see me dab instead of drink because
Nice.
unlike you miscreants, I like my liver.
All right, I'll tell you what. If Big Buck
They're all overrated.
wants to schedule me on an episode and send me the Morgan, then I'll indulge. All right.
Captain Morgan is your drink. So you like rum?
wait. Hey, when you guys send him the Morgan, I need to be here because I want to see this shit. I definitely want to see this shit.
Tiberius, please let me give you a better recommendation. Appleton Estate Jamaican rum.
Oh, that's good stuff. Now, I was about to say, Ty, if I was going to actually physically send you a bottle, like I would say I'm sending you Captain Morgan, but I would actually send you a bottle of this Ron
Yes.
Zacapa Sistema Solera
Okay.
23. It's amazing.
Send me rum that isn't dog shit. All right, that's all I'm asking.
This is the best rum.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
It's excellent.
It's the
These
rum of
guys are-
extreme.
I knew I like these guys. These guys are drinking experts, and I like that.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't say it's the best in the world, but it's pretty damn good rum for the price.
Oh, yes,
By the way,
yes.
to grow the farms up.
All right.
questions, just go Amazon search beer chuggers. There's literally hundreds, maybe thousands.
I am happy.
Can you ship alcohol across state lines?
You came to
Depends
Nebraska
on the-
because we're awesome.
Depends on the state, actually, because it's literally like concealed carry reciprocity. So we would have to do some research into that. So,
But
All right,
but
so what is
it's
it? How much is
also-
it?
It is also.
it's
you
like
can-
it's
you
this
can
is
al-
literally like $44, but it's
And
that
then-
good.
Just send me the 45 and all. I'm sure I can find it in Indiana. So
Well, the
I'm
other
sure.
thing I was gonna say is, the other thing you can do is do a drop where you order it from Nebraska and it ships from Indiana, which is another way that you get around this.
Okay.
you can do that too. I will get my.
Wait,
address.
I have a question. There's a question. Wait, Phil and Tony, you guys were you guys frat boys in your 20s?
No.
No, not frat. We just lived next to the college that we sometimes attended.
Yeah, we had a good time in college, but a frat would have required us to like do some things.
Yeah, we didn't
and that's
do a
like,
lot,
no,
No, we mostly did what I was just doing a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, we were popular with some of the
Oh yeah,
frat
Popular
boys
with the college
and the
college
sorority
girls.
but, like, yeah. It
Okay.
was like, here's what I always encourage young people is do not let your studies get in the way of your education.
Unless it's beer.
that's right.
Yeah,
That
like-
is the education.
All right, so I'm about out of time. I actually overstayed by quite a bit as I wanted to. So before I do go out, is there any part of the Ukraine that y'all need to like puck me on or?
One thing I need to push back on something you and something Tiberius and Tiberius said. Double
Okay.
fuck that guy. Tiberius and Jacanadar were touching on is we need to remove Putin permanently and the Russian regime must be changed. Like, here's the thing. Say we do remove Putin from power. Like I brought up the other night on Truth and Fiction Pod on YouTube, which you should definitely go check out. What exactly do you replace it with? Because America's done such a bang up job of replacing regimes like Iraq and Afghanistan,
Putin
Libya.
was a great
Like, I mean,
replacement for Gorbachev.
Yeah, we've been doing a
Phil,
bang up
I'm
job
not
of that.
talking
You're going to
about
have
separate-
the kind of power vacuum, the likes of which the world has never seen. And that's why my Berlin Wall 2.0 prediction, it allows everybody to not lose face. They can go behind their walls. They can hide behind their walls. Nobody fucking gets hurt. And we just play political hopscotch bullshit. And that's my pushback is it would be nice if we could remove the Putin regime. That would be great. But replace it with what exactly?
Can I add on to that, Tiberius, before you answer that? So my idea of elder Russian philosophy about what Russia is also is that they have this very and how do I put it, inclusive idea of the lands that they deserve and who they are. Like those two things are kind of tied together, and they fundamentally, as a culture,
Commies.
believe that Ukraine is theirs by birthright or whatever. Maybe I'm describing it in a very bad way, which I think you get what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying. There's some level where that's true. There's some level where it's not. There's like Eurasianism and all this other shit that it's out there, but I don't have time to even remotely go down those ideas. I'll just simply say that there is
Howard.
yeah. there's some folks that are of older mindsets that believe that basically Russia's the chosen one for one reason or another. And then you got some younger folks that were really trying to question that, but they've been pretty much snuffed out or, disappeared. So where we're at now is that, one, I just wanted to make it clear that the United States' government's unofficial position is that the Putin government is no longer basically worth our time, right? My personal position is this. I'm fine with the idea that you don't like Putin to the point where you want to get rid of him. But what means are you willing to use to get to that? Because you can fund the Ukraine war for fucking 10 years. It might not cause anything. And if anything, it actually might mobilize the Russians into something that becomes a competent threat. There's a level where I'm quite concerned about that. The other side of that is that is it okay to actually just hoodwink everybody to the point where we're not honest with ourselves or the Russians as to the level that we're willing to push?
I'll answer those in reverse order. The answer to is it okay for us to hoodwink the American public and the world at large that we're going to do this and then fucking lie about it? No. Flat out, no. As to how far I'm willing to go, I'm not willing to put American boots on the ground because, as Phil describes, when we go in for regime change, we're not great at it, and usually we have to go and clean up a mess 20 years later.
We might in Ukraine.
Potentially. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say it's as definite as you say, but yeah,
I'm just saying past behavior being the best predictor of future behavior.
No, you're right. We do have a likelihood of having to go kill a monster in 20 years that we created. Yes. As far as what I'm willing to do, the most amount of military might I'd be willing to dedicate to getting Putin out of office feet first would be a surgical strike via special operators, meaning 6 to 10 man team. That would be the most. Why? Because we do that kind of shit into countries all the time, and if they lose, we just completely disregard they ever existed. I mean, this is kind of their job. But yeah, maybe 2 teams, so maybe up to 20 people. Because I think we have the actual skill and capability of doing so. Here is the issue with my proposal. If we do so, we are ignoring the international rules-based order, and we are going to be assassinating a world leader. We are going to be changing the landscape of war back about 150 years. And that is a dangerous prospect. I don't know if it's a Pandora's box we want to open, but as far as me, that's what I'm willing to do because I do think it's Putin that's the issue. And yes, we will get a different devil that may, quote unquote, be worse, but they may be worse to their own people as opposed to plans of retaking all former Soviet states.
I was about to say, if the news reports to be to believe, just to defeat Putin, you just have to look at your watch long enough because
hopefully,
apparently, his health ain't doing that great. If that's to be believed.
I mean, technically, we only have to wait long enough whether his health is doing great or not. But do I want to wait that long? Fuck no. I don't want this monster to keep butchering fucking people. I'd rather this war to end, just like Phil does. I'm just willing to go a little bit further than he is to end it.
Last statement, and then I gotta go.
Rocket.
So, as far as my own personal take, what should we actually do? I'm cool with pretty much going ham in with Ukraine to continue supporting them, as long as like the Russians don't use a tactical nuke. I don't care if the Putin government falls. Like you're talking about destroying still one of the world-class powers, even in their decrepitated state. I don't know if we want to go down that particular road. I'll touch that here in a second, though. Excuse me. I'm fine if Putin still remains in power as long as he's pushed back and it's made very, very clear Russia has a line they can't cross anymore. You're not invading another nation, or you will find a massive level of retaliation for it. If they do use a nuke, fuck it. Let's declare war. That's literally where I'm at. Outside of that
last point.
Huh?
Agreed on that last point.
Okay. If for some reason that we were to knock over the Putin government, let's just say it actually collapses, which is the most likely scenario, that or somebody tries to coup it from within, is that our mission will be to end the existence of the Russian Federation in any kind of facilitation. So there's about 30 different provinces within the Federation that will immediately be within range to declare independence. We support all of them. We will half the size of the Federation pretty much as quickly as we can, because we don't want anyone to replace the Russian Empire. We want to disintegrate it. We want all these people who aren't Russian to have their own countries, for the Russians to actually never be a major threat to the Eurasian landmass as long as we can project power. That's what the in-game goal is now for the United States government.
They'll just say that's an act of war, and they're a nuclear power. So
okay, so wait, hold on.
I'd be like Russia trying to make Texas go independent. Obviously, we're going to call that an act of war.
Yeah, the thing of it is that we're basically trying to hemorrhage it into the point where this beast falls in from its own self. This is one of the reasons why we have the sanctions package, which makes it to where Russia can't build modern weapons. Like they can't build T-90 anymore. They don't have the microchips. So
they also don't have the metal import they need to do so either, because they need a particular amount and purity of titanium to make the alloy.
So anyway, they've lost the ability to actually maintain a modern economy in the way that we think of. They're going to revert back to something that they can work with back in the 1980s. So, if Russia wants to be there and they can somehow make that work, that's great. But usually whenever you see that level of like skills deficit, you see a societal implosion. I don't know how long that's going to take. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I would say there's about a 30% likelihood that it does. In the event that it happens, the United States is going to put a stake through the Russian heart.
Grow the Farm Up says if Russia is listening, Russia is definitely going to nuke Tiberius after tonight.
Wow. But anyway, what I find most more likely is that Ukraine this summer is going to kick the living dog shit out of Russia.
We will see.
And when it's over, is that the Russians will never formally sign a ceasefire, but they will basically just maintain their current border, the borders that they had pre-war, because Ukraine is not going in, right? And in the event that happens, is that you kind of have a Berlin Wall 2.0 situation, but it will because the Ukrainians basically mop the floor with the Russians. And I firmly expect that to be the most likely outcome. Is just Ukraine proves to be the competent fighter here. And we're going to find out this summer whether that's true or not. But I've said this in the last episode, and I'll say this as my last line. I'm expecting this summer that the Ukrainians are going to pull off one of the greatest military victories in human history. They are going to go up against a force that outnumbers them 2-1, and they're going to crush them. Mm-hmm. And without further ado, we'll find out this year. Hope you have fun.
Yep.
Take care, guys.
By the end of June, we'll know if that's a proper prediction. But Tiberius, thank you for coming by. And where can they find you?
You guys can find me at Twitch and YouTube at Tiberius D. I'm pretty easy to find. Talk a lot about this. Most of the time I'm doing stuff, usually on Saturday nights or with your good friend Phil K.O.E. So just pay attention to both those and you'll probably find me. Take care, everyone.
Peace. What a concept. Also, I mean, you can find us all at Truth and Fiction Pod on YouTube, and we're all great podcast material can be found. So that one
reinforce what he was saying. First of all, I'm going to stack you back a little bit. We'll know by December, not June.
I'm sorry.
June, you're still going to be in the thick of fighting. You're talking about the height of summer. They're not even into autumn yet. That's not when the fighting lines are going to be drawn.
It's like rounds 6 through 9 in a boxing match. That's the ones that really decide a 12-round match. The first 6 rounds, they're kind of like feeling each other out, tapping each other a little bit. Then rounds 6 through 9, they both turn it on. And by the end of round 9 and 10, you know what the winner's already going to be. And then the last 2 is just they're trying to hold out. And I think this battle is going to be it's going to be much like that. By June, we're going to know.
No, and this is the next thing. No, I still disagree. It's going to be probably September, maybe October. And the reason for this is all of the analysts that are actually looking at amalgamated data. Amalgamated data. They're actually predicting another warm winter, which means the fighting is going to persist longer than what would be the average summer in Ukraine. So if you're just looking up quote unquote average summer in Ukraine, that number isn't going to be applicable because They're expecting another hot winter, and the reason they're expecting this is because of something that's happening in the jet stream that my even very smart brain doesn't understand because I'm not a meteorologist. Like
Interesting.
they explained it in lots of words that even I had to go look up, and it still didn't make sense.
I get what you're saying there, but like I just from everything I'm saying, and I'm just I don't know if we want to make a friendly wager on it, sir, but like now, like to me, by the end of the year, the lines that we're looking at come December are going to be looking an awful lot like the lines we were looking at in June. And
You
it's
may be right. I just disagree. And to answer, grow the farm up, you would have been right, except for we've been sending them money this whole. We lost Tony. We've been sending them money this whole time, and the training that has been going on for the Abrams, because we are sending them a different class of Abrams than our current modern Abrams. They have actually been being trained on them for 3 months, which is enough time to field the ones without all the extra fucking electronics. Will they be quote unquote effective? There's the real question. But they'll know how to drive it. They may have to use a building as brakes, but they'll know how to drive it.
oh, yeah. So what you're saying is they might need a little more steering wheel time on that.
Yeah,
like nobody ever talks about men
experience,
and their brave, proud simulators.
But
Now,
they're actually being trained from what I've been reading, and this is from OSINT. If you guys haven't been looking at the OSINT intelligence that's coming out, they've been actually taking tank commanders to Poland and then training them there and then sending them back to Ukraine.
Now, guys, I'm sorry I have to interrupt you, but we have a special guest that's arrived this evening. It's a regular here. It's not that big a deal. Don't worry about it. Everybody on this show is far more important, but we do have the current occupant of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, the steward of the Oval Office, the big guy himself, the one, the only, Joseph R. Biden. What a fucking joke. Hey, Joe, Sleepy Joe, how we doing? Welcome back, Joe. How is Ukraine? Did you pick up Hunter's paycheck while you were there?
How's it going there, Phil QAnon OE? Doing just fine over here at Pennsylvania Avenue.
Oh my God! So, all right, yes. So, Joe. So I'm curious. Did they have to pick? Because of inflation, did they have to kick it up to 15% for the big guy now?
Look, I'm not so good with the numbers and stuff, but I'll just say everybody's doing handsomely, especially if you're a Ukrainian citizen. I was talking today about putting in. We're going to start paying pensions because we want to make sure that those people have a little bit of spending scratch over there. We got to take care of our own.
Hey, Joe, have you been to East Palestine, Ohio?
I don't get involved in that Middle Eastern stuff. It's a tense thing. I like to take care of business here at home, Bill. Come on.
Yes.
Malarkey.
Your domestic policy has just been a bang up job, brilliant. Joe. So we were just talking about Russia and Tiberius Jakanadar here. They're talking about how they want the Putin regime removed and Putin removed from power. How are you going to go about that, Joe?
Yeah, I was listening to Tenacious D over there before he took off, and with his curly hair, and it sounds like he's really got my best interest at heart, and any means necessary. We've got to get this guy out. That's what it comes down to. We all know it's been proven, it's verifiable. Look it up. He put Donald Trump in the White House. We know this, and thankfully, most popular president in history, yours truly, came by, wiped the floor with him, and he's out. President Pig Shit, that orange bastard, he's gone. You're welcome.
That's That's
can I ask President Joe?
Ask away, Osiris.
President Joe, how do you feel about Hogwarts Legacy and the trans conversation?
I don't think that the Harry Potter feller had anything to do with those train derailments. I don't know what you're implying there. I don't think they're related, but maybe I'm not privy to that information. I'm just the fucking president.
Yeah, you're powerless around here.
I think that's a solid answer. I think that answers the question. Those trade derailments, that's a pretty serious thing.
Yeah, that's right, kid. Come save Osiris from the answer to that question. Holy shit! Yeah, I can hear him in the background. Dad.
Dad, what was that? No, it's
what's that?
No, Joe, do not sniff. Do not sniff.
Sorry.
No, I know. It's hard for you to resist, Joe.
Don't make me get the spray bottle.
Joe,
No,
you didn't sniff anybody. You didn't sniff anyone in Ukraine, did you?
Well, look, I mean, next question.
Plead the fifth. There you go. Good question. Good answer.
Good answer. Next question.
Walk by that one. I look. Zelensky. He's a very handsome man. He's got a lot of pheromones coming off of him, and he's a general or something over there, and he's a very masculine man, and he's you got to take a whiff. All the ladies want to.
Joe, did you make out with Zelensky?
Look, what I do behind closed doors, none of your business. What
my wife, a lot of
my wife and the vice president's husband do in front of the world, that's their business. Just saying.
Okay. I got a very serious question. Look, I am an African American person who lives in the United States of the Americas, and I want to know what you think about your Vice President Kamala Harris and the contention she has with the Black community. Is this a legitimate pick, or was you forced to do this?
She's been nothing but inspirational. I mean, she's a very independent woman, and she just speaks to me. And if you've been listening to her over the last since I've been campaigning when I picked her, I mean, the words that come out of her mouth. Have you ever heard a more well-spoken person? Not just female. She's one of the females. Did you know that?
She is a female, considering the trans situation. She is a female. Yes, I get this.
She's amazing. She speaks to me. Like when I'm hearing her talk, she says, I'm wearing a blue shirt. Like, that's inspirational stuff right there. You can't buy that. It's amazing.
I get it.
So, Joe, what is it that makes her amazing?
She's usually in a hurry. Not the standard hurry when you're in a rush to get someplace, but like a frantic hurry. And it's the type of hurry where a few seconds could mean life or death. She races down the road. She ignores speed limits, weaves between cars. She's only a few minutes away, but traffic came to a dead standstill on the road.
That's awe-inspiring. I like hurry. I like being in a hurry.
There were two things that were, they were important to Tracy. First was her dog, and anyone that ever met her, Tracy, how much she loved her dog. Most would say that she treated her as her child. The dog went with her everywhere. It'd been her best friend for the past 5 years. The second thing that was important to Tracy was, the thing.
I know the thing.
Joe, your diaper's getting a little full here, Joe. So anything you'd like to say to the American people about the Chinese spy balloons, about the pollution over Ohio, or anything else from the big guy?
I think it's important to understand we're not going to tolerate these balloons. All right, look, we're shooting them down. We're gonna spend $400,000 a missile. We're gonna blow them up, whether they come from China, whether they're spying on the weather, or whether or not it's in the air. Sometimes, did you know this? They don't even send balloons. You know they send trains.
Hey, Patty P!
Found that out the hard way. We've been shooting down trains left and right sent in from China. We've been taking them out. That's what we
Well,
do.
Phil, it was good having a channel while you had it.
What we do.
Oh, don't like Jack. Every week we're like, everyone enjoy the final episode of Big Bucket Empire. It was a great run. It was like, yeah, every week we're just like, so,
I'm bringing
like, yeah.
credibility to this show every week. I'm making my voice heard to the American people. Talking to you civilians.
Well, no, I can actually give POTUS a little reminder here, because this is something that went by in the news rather unceremoniously. Biden did make it a binding order that the railroad pay for all the remediation. So it is going to be remediated, and it is not going to come a dime out of taxpayers' pocket to get it done. And the way he did it, even if the fucking railroad declares bankruptcy, the remediation gets first dibs on assets.
Oh, they're going to declare bankruptcy. You bet your ass they will.
Well, no, I actually agree with you, but because of the EPA declaration that was signed, the remediation gets first dibs on all the assets. So,
oh, not before we make our cut, and then we're going to send that money over to Ukraine. It's going to come back clean.
Okay, President Biden. I got a really important question. What do you think about bitches? Like
Okay. Now he's speaking his language.
Look. What I'm saying here, we had President Clinton. He liked the bitches, right? He did. He really did love the bitches, right?
Oh,
and President Bush, one of my favorites, and from my home state.
And what a great name.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So, what do you think about the bitches?
Look, man, in my younger days, I did quite well. I advanced a lot further, than a lot of the younger gentlemen in my age range. As I've told you before, I had hairier legs than all the other boys. Women like that. They like a hairy leg or a hairy chest. Now, I haven't had hair on my chest for a while because I won't get into that. But look, I'm a lot more skinless these days, but I still do quite well with the bitches. Obviously, me and Jill, my sister, my wife, whoever, we do a little bit of swapping with Kamala and her husband. So, I'm hip. I'm hip to the bitches. Not that I'm saying my vice president's a bitch, but she got to where she is by knowing a thing or two. Let's just say she busts out the knee pads still to this day, because that's how much she cares about America.
Oh, dear God. Okay, so that's how you stay married so long. You know what? Let's know that. That's
you got to spice it up. Variety spice a lot.
I feel you.
I mean, like you said, Joe, what you,
I
Jill,
like
and the vice president's husband do in the blatant eye of the public is their own business.
That's right. I mean, that's what I've been saying about my son, but you people keep bringing things up. I don't understand. If he wants to sleep with a bunch of transvestite hookers, that's his business. All right. Look, what he does with the money that he earns, illegally or undeservingly, that's his business.
Hey, that's just being all inclusive. I get it. I get it.
So actually, no. So Joe, I mean, wouldn't that technically make Hunter a member of the LGBTQ community?
So what?
Why have you not milked that for points yet, Joe?
Look, we don't need cheap brownie points around here. I'm the most popular president in history. Did you not see? I just told you again. Not only did I win 800 billion votes to claim this seat, I also won my re-election in the midterms in a landslide. Ran unopposed. Nobody came anywhere near me. Nobody came a sniff to me.
When they say satire is dead, I will point them to this stream.
So, Joe, obviously your diaper's got to be getting pretty full, and Jill's going to have to change you. God bless her. She's the hardest working woman in Washington, D.C. today, making you look like you're semblant and coherent.
She is definitely the second hardest woman in D.C. next to Michelle.
Oh, my God. Joe, any last things you'd like to say to the American people? And folks, it's been a great run here on Big Bucket Empire. Enjoy our final episode. It was great. Like Jack Osiris, you limboed in right under the fucking. He got in right under the limbo line. Joe, anything you'd like to say?
No, like I said, land, sea, or air, we're going to take out them Chinese spy balloons. Well, at least for the tabloids. Meanwhile, my relations behind the scenes are doing just fine with the Chinese. Let's not split hairs here. But thanks again for having me on the Dog and Chicken Show. There, Phil QAnon OE and Ocelot and Jack and Coke. It was a great time. I always appreciate appearing on the show. Talk to the civilians. Get my finger on the pulse of America, and make sure to vote for me again in 2023. I win every year. It's crazy.
You got my vote, President.
Got another one. I'll count it 3 times.
I love your stance on bitches.
Bitches votes count twice at least.
Oh God. 3 if it's in Pennsylvania, right, Joe? Oh,
God bless.
Almighty.
Yeah, this is a classic episode. Wish you were there for this one, but yeah, you're gonna have to come
Folks,
on with Osiris sometime.
the current occupant of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, the steward of the Oval Office himself, the horrible hands that we all find ourselves in currently, Joseph R. Biden. No, Joe, over here, Joe. No. What a fucking joke. Guys, you were honored. You were here for the appearance of Joe Biden. Like it's a rare treat that we get once in a while, but Joseph R. did make an appearance, and
I miss him again.
Tony, you missed him again. It's like,
I just can't wait to tell my friends I met the President of the United States of America. He's a very honorable person, straightforward, gave the straight answers. We got to vote for this guy again.
Shoots from the hip.
Actually, yes.
Sniffs from the hip, even.
Shoots from the hip with a shotgun.
Oh, wow.
Well, that was Dick Cheney. That was Dick Cheney.
Yeah. Now, you want to know how persuasive that motherfucker was? He shot a guy in the face, and the guy who got shot in the face apologized.
Yeah, that's true. The last time a politician of that stature shot somebody in the face, she was wearing a blue
JFK.
I was thinking Monica and Bill, but
I
like your
that's
Bill.
right. Yeah.
I mean, but honestly, like, I will be completely frank. When he was actually elected, I actually got worried because he was the second Catholic president we ever elected, and we all know what happened to the first one. I was really worried with what was going on in this country. That was
talking about Joe?
Yeah, he's a Catholic.
Now, actually, there's a pretty funny meme where, now this is a meme, folks, but it broke down the last several presidents that we had, and it was George W. Bush, Protestant Christian, didn't do anything about Roe v. Wade. Barack Obama, the meme said, Sunni Muslim, didn't do anything about Roe v. Wade. Donald J. Trump, Protestant Christian, didn't do anything about Roe v. Wade. Joe Biden gets in 2 years into it. Roe v. Wade, gone. That shows a picture of him on the phone. Yes, what do you need next for me to do, Your Holiness?
I mean, yeah, no, it's a meme, but the thing is he is literally the second Catholic president we've ever elected. It was actually because of the history and the fact that I am a leftist. I was really actually worried something was going to happen. Like dead ass serious. Like I was.
There's still time.
Well, no, but especially when like the first speech he did, he didn't even have like the full bulletproof like surround up. Like it was just like one pane. I was like, oh god, he's just begging now. It's like because it was just like the first one. He just had the 3 panels that they put up in front of the dais. He didn't have the full 8-panel one that goes around. And I was just like, yee.
Like, I'll be honest,
he couldn't find ammunition when he took office.
of Joe's 2020 campaign that did kind of feel a little bit like elder abuse at one point. So, like, yeah, I do get that. It's
Well,
like, God,
still feels like.
yeah, but now,
We need to get rid of the octogenarians and septuagenarians in general. I agree, because let's be honest, the boomers and all them fuckers have been fucking it up for the rest of us, and I'm older than all y'all motherfuckers.
Wait a minute. How old are you, Jack? Can't be
53.
53?
Yeah.
Damn, you look good for your age, bro. Not bad, not bad.
Well, I always joke that it's. I
You cut your
found
hair.
that-
That's why. That's what it is, right? Got
No,
your
it's
bald at some point.
No, actually, my family generally looks like this, and it came from my dad doing it when he taught me this. He used this stuff called Gojo,
The fuck is
which
that?
is that's like a pumice like soap that you
And
use to
cleaner.
like get grease
Yep.
off your face.
we got it in our shop.
or off your
I use
hands,
it every
but
day.
he'd use it on his face because it had the aggregate. I learned
Oh,
that
wow.
there's a much cheaper way to do it. It's called sugar scrub.
I was
Smell is
misled
bad.
this whole time. I told my wife, he just nut in her hair, it'd be great. And
Does it work?
has the protein. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
No, but
I was about to say that's just the
look,
story he tells
Right.
to get to the destination. T.
Sure.
Like,
No,
it's like
That's what I'm asking. Does
it's
it
got
work?
vitamins,
Can I use
minerals.
that?
It'll give you good luck for the day. Like, yeah, like whatever you gotta say.
Well,
To just
Yeah, it'll
like-
make your
like,
chakras and Venus in sync or something. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. All that
No,
stuff.
but,
Yeah.
but the honest thing to it was, as I'm sitting there thinking about the shit that comes out of y'all's mouth, I go, how have y'all ever stayed married? Like, really? And then I realized that Phil says he's not married. I don't know about Tony. And Osiris is married to a Latina, so she's gonna smack the shit out of him
23
if he
years,
ever
yes.
goes too far.
No. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yes.
I
And
was about to
no.
say, Tony's got 4 kids, all under the age of 7, right?
Yeah, 7 and under.
Wait,
Yeah,
how are you,
so-
Tony?
How?
I'm 36. I'll be 36.
Yeah,
what I'm-
so I
what I'm
have-
getting
I
to
have,
is this is how do you afford it in today's how?
You don't.
What do you do for
No,
a
like
living?
Jack.
Uh,
Like
no
I
pictures
always
of my
tell
butthole
people,
on OnlyFans.
if you're waiting till you can, like I tell all the young kids, like if you're waiting till you can afford to have kids, that's just a great way to not have kids because you're
Yeah.
never going to be able to afford it ever.
That's not,
ever.
That's not
Yeah.
what I'm talking about. I'm talking about now that you have them. How do you do it?
Yeah.
You make
I don't
shit
know.
happen.
my butthole on OnlyFans.
Well, first of all, I imagine Tony's a farmer, right? So he knows how to make food happen.
Bill's the farmer. I used to work in an elevator.
Okay. Jesus Christ. Okay. That's a thing.
That's a grain elevator. He wasn't like
Grain
an elevator
elevator.
operator
Okay,
that like wears the
I'm not
red
a farmer.
coat,
I
and
don't
the
know what
little
the fuck
fez,
that meant.
and the white
Like,
gloves. Like
you
Tony,
worked
when
in
you
an
said you
elevator.
worked in an elevator, they were imagining you with
Yeah.
white gloves and a fez.
No,
Yeah, okay.
actually, when he said that, I was imagining grain elevator, and then I was sitting there going, I'm not gonna say shit because if he was actually just like a general operator of an elevator in a fucking high
Yeah.
rise, I'm gonna sound like an idiot. So I just shut up.
I just
Well,
I
dude,
just-
you guys keep
backstage
saying
producer-
Nebraska. I don't think there's a lot of high rises in Nebraska.
No, not many. Our backstage producer has 8 kids. Just saying. So he's got.
I got 7. Oh, wait, I got 7. So I'm not.
Oh shit! You mean we got somebody that's got one more on?
7 kids, 23 years married too. Let's go.
Damn! Well done.
Whew.
Well done.
Yeah, it's just like-
Yeah, that's. Yeah,
it's just
Oh, but believe me, it was a struggle. Anybody think that's an accomplishment? It kind of is, but it's
Oh,
more
yeah.
of a, it's way more of a struggle than it
well,
was.
that's the reason people like applaud you is because they know it's like, wow, you've just been through this war for 23 years. It's like holding in a shit
on
for
trucking.
23 solid
not-
years. Well
That's
done.
not even like a journey. That's like a trilogy.
Yeah, you
That's like Lord of the Rings.
put,
level
you put your
of
hat
trilogy.
down. You know, you
Extended
strap on your
edition
boots.
even.
You pull your boot straps up, and you drink a big glass of fucking beer, and you keep on
That-
moving.
That helps.
I mean,
Grow the farm up. I don't have time to be a leftist. Beautiful, beautiful.
I mean,
True.
here's the thing: as a farmer, you are far more leftist than you would care to believe because you believe in communal living. The difference is your community is your fellow farmers. It's actually you're just a different side of leftist than Marxist. That's why people fucking hate the overgeneralized terms because then you get trucked in with a bunch of tanky morons who.
The
fucking
problem is
read
that
up
a lot
on
of farmers are likely to say this set of words. It isn't very Marxist at all. get the fuck off my farm. That's
Most
not a very
farmers-
Marxist
Most
phrase.
farmers are ready to stab each
But
other in the
that's it,
back
but
and take each
I
other's
support that
land.
message.
Yeah, Tony, you want to explain? Yeah, say that one that you can. Right? That's pretty.
No,
funny.
yeah, farmers are like they'll be nice to you in the feed store, and then the second you turn your back, you might as well look for the knife because they want to take your land. Like that's
Well,
not.
it's gotten that cutthroat because the farmers
It-
I knew in Michigan, it was more communal living than that.
Oh, it's don't get me wrong, we do help each other out, but like I'm not gonna say names. Tony, you already know exactly who I'm thinking of, but I'm not gonna name names. There's one farm family that when an old timer farmer dies, they will attend the funeral, try to hit up the people who are going to inherit the farm, like, hey, why don't you rent that farm to me? So literally, they'll go trolling at funerals to try and get farmland. That's how aggressive they are. So
that's ridiculous. See, I just didn't
Yeah,
realize
yeah.
that.
Even I don't go that fucking.
That's
Even
pretty
I don't go that
epic.
fucking far. Like
Well, 'cause
Jesus.
it's
Yeah,
like
Bill
here
doesn't
in
go that
Arkansas-
far unless they have a single mom daughter in the family.
So you single, darling?
Wait,
Like,
so
no, no.
wait. If I want to look, if I want to move to Nebraska, let's say I'm single. I want to get up there. Can I marry into the farm life? Is that a thing I can do? Oh,
Absolutely.
hell yeah.
I mean, you're gonna
I
have
was
to,
about to
you're
say.
gonna
Just
work
know-
your way up
just
the
know
ladder
that-
a bit.
I was
If
about
I
to
ever
say,
get
just
divorced,
know that
I'm
you're
doing
going to be picking. Just know that you're picking up a pitchfort at the beginning. Like
No, I'm not doing
the first job on the farm is musting stalls, my man.
Definitely not doing that.
Yeah,
Definitely
you're
not
gonna be
doing
pulling a calf out of a cow. At one point.
that. Oh,
Just
fuck
be ready
no.
for that.
I seen a human.
Can you run
baby.
a tractor? Can you drive?
No, wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. I seen a baby human come out. I don't need to see the fucking cow come out. I don't need to see.
Oh,
none
it's
of that.
even more beautiful. I
Oh.
promise.
They have this
Beautiful.
contraption. They have this
Beautiful.
contraption that's
Okay.
actually a ratchet jack, so that if the baby cow is too big and is stuck, they can put some ropes in, and they hook this fucking jack up, and it goes on the ass of the cow, and they just start cranking away.
Grow the farm up.
No, they don't. They put on a pair of fucking really thick gloves and they pull it out by hand. That's how that works.
I will show you video of this contraption.
Oh, I'm
I
sure
know
I'm sure it exists. I'm
It's
positive.
grow the farm up. You just made a humongous assumption. No, my fellow farmers are my competition. We live in a capitalist, capital-driven society. Wow, you're
Well,
out there.
I didn't know it was that bad in Nebraska, because like in Michigan, it's more
I doubt
communal.
it's
Like
just
if you need.
Nebraska.
Well, no, what I'm
Put
saying. in
Detroit
Michigan-
in
No,
I'm gonna say in
not-
Texas,
not
and
just Detroit.
nobody's
I'm not
helping the
talking
next
about that.
farmer.
We
They'll
had-
help them as far as it's courteous, but then as far as business goes, they're gonna fuck them over. Trust
Oh
me.
no, don't get me wrong. Once sales season comes up, everything, all bets are off. But you need a few gallons of diesel, they're there. You need fucking, somebody to come help you fucking lift your tractor wheel on, they'll come help you. That's what I mean. It is a more communal style of living. It's
It
just
is more than normal. Yes.
Yeah, and that's what I'm getting at. It's like that's not a bad thing. That is something we need to get back to, because you know what? There are neighbors around me that I don't like. If they ever ask me for help, though, I'd be the first one out the door to go help them, because it's just kind of how I was brought up to think. This is the kind of farming I saw in Michigan. It's the kind of farming I see here in Arkansas. So it's like, and by the way, that's the only real farming experience I have is these two states. So I can't speak for anywhere else in the country.
No,
That's
the
fair,
rural area of Nebraska, like it's a very, very like Nebraska in general is a very, very friendly state. It's very neighborly. We're very eager to help one another. But like when it comes to farming, like that is your living. And if you can find a way to make your living more profitable, you're going to do it. We're talking strictly about the successful farmers, the ones that are overly eager to help and don't really want to find a way to financially find more gains. They tend to not be farmers as long. That's just the nature of
At least not as many generations.
Yeah.
Oh, no, fair enough. It's like I said, maybe it's different because I was dealing primarily in apple and pear orchards in Michigan, and here we're dealing with a lot of fucking rice and fucking sweet potatoes and shit in Arkansas. So maybe that's why it's just a different style of farming. That could be it. But it's like here, like I said, like those big tanks of diesel you guys have on for filling up your farm equipment. Because you know the hell that it is to run one of these equipments out of diesel, you let your buddy fill up so he doesn't run out of diesel, so he can wait for the diesel to come up. Things like that. Like that is things I see here. That's things I saw in Michigan. I hope that's things that I see on most farmland across the country, because that's really how it used to be and how it needs to be, because you're dealing with corporate farms. You guys might as well cooperate more, because it gives you more power against the farm corporation that has 50 tracks along your state, for example.
No, it's like Waterworld here when it comes to fuel. Like, no, I'm kidding.
Fuel!
Fuel!
Can I make a pitch for for Texas again? Our fuel is super cheap. Come down to Texas.
Oh, come on now. Because it takes like 8 gallons or 8 tanks of gas to get from like Houston to fucking Dallas.
Hey, but it's super cheap. Yeah, you might drive a long way.
I would hope.
It costs you $4. You'll be all right.
Texas is like Alaska. It's one of the few states you can drive all day and still be in the same fucking state and only go
you're
one
be
direction.
In different cities and not even know you left the first one.
That is great. You know why? Because you don't need to leave Texas. Because why? Cause think about what surrounds Texas. We got Oklahoma, Louisiana, and New Mexico. Why the fuck would you want to go there? You don't want to go there.
I actually would rather be in New Mexico than Texas.
Stop it. No, what are you
hey
man,
about? I can go get peyote buttons out in the desert of New Mexico.
I don't care about your drug habits. That's your problem. That's between you and God. I don't care about that.
Nice.
I mean, fair enough, but
we're adults. Who has 2 days to fucking pull your head back together after a peyote trip nowadays? Jesus Christ. So like, the problem is like, that's something for when you're like just fresh in college. What's that?
You guys get to see it live on stream. Might be participating in panels, and y'all think I've been looking at y'all like you're part of fucking like Mario Kart and shit. And
wow, Chicanadar is getting really esoteric with his fucking ideas tonight. Jesus, like for some reason he keeps bringing it back to space. I don't know why.
Phil, you're like the blue turtle shell in Mario Kart.
And it's turtle all the way down.
Turtle all the way down, man.
But no, the thing is I'm a communist you can get along with, because I'm not one of these lunatics who wants revolution, which is basically me fighting you guys. I want to come up with a way where you guys see the benefits of my ideology, because I know true communism will never happen. What is likely to happen is a hybridization of the economic principles that we have of socialism, communism, and capitalism. We will find some hybridization of the three, and that's what will progress into the future. And then sometime down the future, some other thinker will come up with something else, and then we'll fight about that, because we're humans and that's what we fucking do. So it's like I want the benefits, and guess what? The smaller family farmers benefit a lot from the communal thought process, because again, your neighbor is no longer your competition. They're your cooperative partner against the corporation down the road. Because we are going to have a capitalist state, because money. I mean, unless you want a war, this is just the nature of it. Capitalism is going to progress into the future, minus some giant calamitous event that I don't want to see, because it's either me and my fellow people shooting other fellow people, or some big calamitous clusterfuck that kills a lot of us in a different way. Like, and I don't want that. I just don't. Like, I've seen death and destruction. It's not what anybody should want if they have a human fucking shred of decency.
True. Now, I think we're actually eventually going to get to the point where we're going to have a true laboratory for this, because once we start colonizing the solar system, we can start building structures called O'Neill cylinders that can hold tens of thousands of people in orbit. And they basically kind of spin like a dryer, and it kind of makes its own fake gravity. Because, when you spin the dryer, it holds the clothes on the outside. And so literally, yes, Chicanadar, we'll be able to have 2 O'Neill cylinders on opposite sides of the same orbital body. And in one, you'll have pure anarcho-capitalism, and in the other one, gay space communism.
No,
and then we can finally figure it all out.
Yeah, don't put that anarcho-communism shit on me. Anarcho-communism is a myth, just like anarcho-capitalism. It's just fucking. How do you have capitalism without a government? And how do you have communism without a government? These things are fucking pipe dreams of the people who thought them up, and they need to fucking go back and either smoke better shit or stop smoking altogether.
Well, that's the thing. In the O'Neill cylinders, we can see which one goes to shit faster, and then we figured it all out. And then we can place our bets. No, you folks like you and I. No, Jack, you don't get it. Like, this is for people like you and I to gamble on. Okay, it's like, all right, place your bets. Which one's gonna make it longer? Gay space communism or anarcho-capitalism?
I don't want fucking Running Man in space either. Fucking my friend.
Wait, hold on. For the people who don't believe in capitalism, I am genuinely curious. What is wrong with it? Because we live in the safest time that we've ever lived in history, the most prosperous time that we've ever lived in history, and the best time. Like even as a person of my
Not if
color,
you spend enough time on Twitch, they'll say it's never been so bad.
They could suck
Yeah.
dick. But what I'm saying is, like, hold on, real quick. Let me lay it out, and then you can respond. So, as a black person, somebody asked me, "What part of history do you want to go back into?" None of them. Fuck all that shit. I don't give a fuck about none of that history. It's not as good as it is right now. It is fucking great.
Louis C.K. said, "Time travel is an exclusively white
curious.
privilege."
So,
There's that.
how can you argue for any other thing than the thing that we have now? Considering that the thing that we have now has been the best thing that we've had in human history. That's all that's my question.
Okay,
You're right, and that's the beauty of it.
Hold on, two
it's
things.
people not being able to see the forest through the trees, and it's
hold on. Two things. One, we are going backwards. We are seeing wealth extraction at an exorbitant rate to the point where we are seeing home ownership dropping to fucking the lowest time in 4 generations. A mass amount of corporations buying up single family homes, turning them into rentals, modifying or monitoring their occupants' income, and then charging 70% of their income so that they have no way to get out from underneath this rent debt. That's what I'm getting at. Like, we are going backwards. Actually, what we should be going back. Let me finish.
No, I just want to.
Finish.
I just need to finish one thing because we need to put Glass-Steagall back in place, which is something that Clinton fucked us on his way out the door. Because Bill Clinton repealed Glass-Steagall, which allowed corporate banks and investment banks to merge, which is what eventually led to the 2008 housing crisis, which eventually led to our current corporatization housing crisis that we're facing. With Glass-Steagall put back in place, this would no longer be possible. The next thing is vacancy tax, so that these corporations that are buying up these homes to increase the value of the homes and leaving them vacant because people can't afford to rent at their exorbitant rates. Everything that's vacant, they pay an extra tax on so that they are incentivized to have occupancy. Not rent them, just rent them at a rate where they can keep a higher level of occupancy on the residences. This would, again, allow people to get out from underneath this wealth extraction that has really piped up since the repeal of Glass-Steagall. Before then, we actually were still seeing a expansion of the middle class that had started in the 1950s and continued into the 90s until that exact moment.
Okay, so my thing is, okay, that's all fine and good. What you just outlined was ways to help capitalism work better. But at no point has anybody ever told me that there is a thing that is better than capitalism. And I'm willing to hear the thing that's better than capitalism.
The evolution of
that's
the thing. It's the evolution. That's why I say
K.O.E.ism. That's what's better.
Revolutionary. I don't want to supplant capitalism with communism because the process to do so is fraught with too many variables that you cannot control for, and usually ends with us looking more like the Soviet Union or fucking Khmer Rouge Cambodia. I don't want that. So you have to do it incrementally, which means a hybridization of the systems, more social programs for the fucking.
So you're talking like Star Trek future?
Well, no, that's if we ever get past money. That's honestly where it goes.
That'll never happen. So long as there's thinking human beings, the price mechanism is necessary.
I agree with K.O.E. The need to own and have your own shit, it creates the materialistic supply and demand problem, right?
Yeah, the thing is, the supply and demand isn't a problem in that situation, because by the time we get rid of money, there isn't a supply negative. Everybody does have what they need. They may not always have what they want, but they have what they need.
Yeah, you're never going to kill the desire for individuals.
That's the problem. That's why you always have to have capitalism and a price mechanism, because desires are infinite and resources are finite.
Which is
right. It's like the jobs program. People keep saying that the jobs are going to run out because they're going to automate the jobs. That's not true. You're never going to automate all the jobs. because every time you automate a job,
You can
need
automate a
person to
lot of
fix the automation of the job, right? So
No,
you can't outlaw, you can't get rid of the money problem, because every time you get rid of the money problem, there's gonna be a new thing that's gonna take its
I
place.
don't know the answer to the monetary issue. That's why I don't ever propose one. That's why I propose the hybridization where money still exists. We still have a certain amount of capitalism because of the simple fact that until we find an answer to get rid of the money problem, short of a mass world devastating event, which is what Roddenberry, Trotsky, Card, many other fucking philosophers who think about these things have basically said is the only way this can ever happen, is a huge traumatizing event worldwide. You have to do it incrementally, which incrementally means hybridization, which means, like I said, more social programs for the people who are the most vulnerable. Those are the children, the elderly, the disabled. We need
I agree with that
people,
part.
the better education for our children, better subsidies for our farmers so that they're not fucking operating at a
Jack,
loss.
do we need that? Do we need that to be socialist for us to accommodate those needs?
These are inherently socialistic programs. This is why it would be a hybridization, not a shift to socialism.
Okay, so we kind of have
It
that
would
already.
be. We actually have socialist programs in
socialist
America. We have socialist programs in America and have had since before I was born, and that's what I'm getting at. It's just that continued hybridization, which is the evolution of both, because we've seen that pure capitalism, unfettered capitalism, leads to fucked up results. We need regulated capitalism. Unfettered communism led to China and Russia.
China.
Yeah, I'm not fucking okay with those answers either. So the answer is probably somewhere in the middle, which is the hybridization. Now, and that's why I'm just saying this is something we've already been doing, but the McCarthyism that ran through this country from the 50s until the 90s heavily has basically poisoned the word socialism and communism to the point where we are fighting nomenclature more than ideas. They hear socialism,
I think you're right.
Put up blinders.
Let me tell you why I think you're right. Real quick, I'll tell you why I think you're right. Because I would think, personally, Bernie Sanders would have been a better president than Joe Biden, even though he considers himself socialist. I think he's more populist than anything, and I think that matters to the American people.
Like I said, I agree he'd be better, and I don't know. I'm not even a Bernie bro. Like I wasn't a Biden fan either. I just liked him better than Trump.
Bernie bro.
Two things. I'm gonna tie this all together. I have to take a shot of gin here, but also to you, Jacanadar, from everything you were talking about, that hybrid approach, you Hegelian dialectic motherfucker. So you take a thesis and an antithesis and arrive at a synthesis. And folks, this was a thesis of juniper berries, an antithesis of the adding of water, and it distills to this synthesis of gin. God bless, and down it goes.
Yuck.
Yeah. At this point, somebody just needs to do like a $20 super chat to make them finish the rest of the beef eaters.
So that's happened. That's happened. It actually.
I know. I'm just shilling to get him money and get rid of that shitty bottle of alcohol.
I want to see. I want to see super drunk Phil K.O.E.
We used to run the
gets there after about 6
stars, and 500 stars would be about $5. And every time he took a shot, we'd add 500 to the charge. So it went from 500 to 1,000 to 15 to 2 to 20.
So $5, $10,
and eventually got up to about 4,000 stars per shot, and it got pretty steep. But he finished the bottle.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The only thing
a lot of money.
I remember when he held up the bottle. He doesn't have that much to finish. So $20.
Oh, he's got plenty more. I've made
sure. No. But that beef eater.
Oh yeah,
him better gin. We need to get him better gin.
I've got better gin. Tony got this for me for Christmas because they know how much I hate gin, so now they always get me gin.
I saw that video. Great.
This is a Brickway gin from Nebraska, and they actually filter this for 48 solid hours, so it smells slightly less like hairspray.
The only thing I
actually prefer Bombay Sapphire, but you have to get the
he does need to try that.
Wait, what do you guys think about tequila?
I love it, but it's shit or it's battery acid.
Tony and I accidentally came across an amazing bottle one time called Patron Estate Release, and it's from agave grown on the Patron grounds. Nice. And I only know where there's 2 more bottles, and I need to go acquire them soon. And it's the best tequila I've ever had.
Yeah,
I've also got a Patron that was aged in a sherry cask. That the next time me and Tony get into tequila night review night, we're getting into that.
86 those Miguel del Sol, best tequila I've ever had. It's expensive as shit, but it is.
Oh yeah.
It's
Have
like
you ever had any?
$200
Okay,
like
Del
$200 a
Maguey
bottle.
Mezcal. It's amazing. Yeah.
I've had a shot. I've never actually.
Okay. I got a real question for the liquor drinkers here.
All right.
All right. So the hot topic on the internet is right now
Uh-oh.
pickup artists, red pillars.
Oh fuck.
They want to pick up girls. But I'm telling you that pick up girls is really super simple. What you need to do is be
Tequila
a
and rum?
gentleman. You gotta have a suit. Like you guys got a suit. He got a suit. This guy got a fucking button up. He's got a nice cowboy hat. It's G'd up. Then you need good liquor.
Mhm.
What type of liquor do you share with the female to make sure that you have a baby in 9 months?
Yep. Tony and I both reach for the same bottle. Ron Zacapa. This is
right. There's your answer,
that
boys.
right there
It
is gonna
will-
be something good on the rocks. They'll appreciate. It's not too. I mean, what is it? 40.
Yeah, mix it with any fruit juice because this
Yeah, 40%
isn't made
ABV.
from a distilled
Mix it with fruit juice?
molasses.
You're not a straight straight person?
Well, when you're drinking with a lady friend that you're entertaining, you make something for. Yeah, this is actually from virgin sugar cane, pressed from. It's not distilled molasses, so this stuff is really special. But yeah, this stuff, like I like how Tony and I both reach for the same. Like, nah, this is the one.
Well,
Maybe
that's
that's
I mean
fun.
that is the
That's
second
about
time
the
you both
girliest
did
thing
that.
I've got. Or that with orange juice and grenadine.
Crown Royale. Oh, I like it.
Indeed.
Crown Royale. That's my personal favorite.
Dessert wines of any kind, ice vines. Yeah, I love ice vine,
But
champagne.
we're also in Nebraska, so I know plenty of gals that like whiskey. This is one that they would like, the Jack Daniels triple mash.
And this is always my advice. The best tequila advice I got was from a country song. Don't ask her on a straight tequila night. That's a good one. But yeah, like I've also found that Moscato is like catnip for pretty girls.
Moscato.
Moscato.
Oh.
Moscato, white wine. It can be like
I have bought many a bottle of that
Yes.
for my daughter because she loves that shit. So yes,
Moscato's delicious.
yep, it's catnip for pretty girls. Like it's just that
Moscato.
would
Why you gotta be sexist, Phil? I'll drink some fucking Moscato right now.
Hey,
Well,
with the right girl,
other-
I'll drink
hey,
some
other
Moscato.
people-
I don't give a fuck.
No, the thing is if you get the right Moscato, it's good for anybody. It's just a matter of
Yeah.
drink it correctly. You actually have to have it chilled to the correct temperature.
Yes.
You cannot pour a full glass, or you are going to hate your fucking life because it's like drinking syrup. It's so thick. However, that being said,
makes a great screwdriver.
Being a sommelier person
not
who does wine is a pain in the ass. I've done it before. I don't like it. Pairing is fucking absolutely my least favorite thing to do as a chef. Like I'd rather pair whiskeys than fucking wines because you get some pretentious motherfuckers about wines.
Oh,
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm just
but,
talking about
like,
making babies because we have a baby making problem in the United States. I just want more people to make more babies. That's all. That's what I'm saying.
you want that fix the money problem because that's usually
It's not a money problem.
No, hold on,
Poor
hold
people
on,
make
hold on.
more babies. Truth.
No.
I was about to say that's the case. Just apparently Coors Light. I don't know.
Yeah,
like,
Coors
like-
Light,
I said,
Marlboro Reds, lottery
Well, I said
scratch
fix-
tickets.
like I said, when I say fix the money problem, I'm not talking about going nuts and like just dropping money into people's hands. I'm talking just get Glass-Steagall back in place, get the banks under regulation again, so that they're no longer sticking it to us with the sandpaper dildo.
I can agree with that, but not for the same reason.
The only thing I'll kick back on is the fact that, like, I understand the idea of the hybrid system, and that makes sense. Like, eventually things evolve and things change. Ideas from other systems are adapted into others. I get that. I can appreciate that. My only thing is isms will come and go and fall by the wayside tenfold before you'll ever kill the desire for certain sects of humanity wanting more and desiring more, striving for more, and doing anything that they can to acquire more. It's just
Not
something you
arguing
can't.
this.
You cannot drive that out of people. I mean, we can't find a way to drive people hating other people because of based solely off of religious beliefs. You just cannot kill the idea that people want to take more, earn more, have more and more
I'm not
power.
arguing.
It's just ingrained.
Well, in the add to that, Tony, it's not even about the taking part. It's about the preserving part, right? Like if I feel like that there's another person or another group of persons who are trying to take more from me, people get extremely defensive of that. And this is what you're seeing with the immigration problem, because they feel like the people are taking from them because they're not those are people. And this is happening in Europe, and this is happening in the United States. So
it's happening in certain parts of Europe, but yes, I understand, and that's also a byproduct of McCarthyism, by the way, just so you know. That's something from my childhood. And no, you can argue this all you want. This is literally a direct quote from my father, who was a supporter of Joe Low McCarthy. Joe did more for this fucking country than any other president has ever fucking done in his lifetime. Between him and Roy Cohn, despite the fact that Roy was a dirty bastard, they have actually fixed more issues to deal with social democracy than any other. This is somebody who supported the Republican Party his whole life. He gave this credit to Joe and his lawyer, not presidents, not fucking, any of the other fucking, chuckle fuck talking heads in Washington, to those two. Why? Because they kept fighting even after they were out of office, even after they had been fucking discredited, dishonored. They fought till the day they died for their principles. In doing so, they created housing issues. They created race issues. They created all kinds of shit, fighting ghosts that weren't there because they needed to fight one ghost that was.
Well, here's the thing, though. Ultimately, in the end, like, this is not a popular thing to say, but the Soviet records after their collapse, and we were able to actually look through the old Soviet records, he was ultimately vindicated in that the State Department did have Soviet spies embedded deep within them. So in the end of the day, Joseph McCarthy was right. Whether we want to admit it or not, he was ultimately vindicated. And hell, hang on here. The Soviet Union even listed Ted Kennedy as an unwitting asset of the USSR. So that was how deep the insidious reach of communism from Russia actually got into our government. So I know it seems like, because in school we're all taught, oh, that's silly McCarthy, and oh, he was just witch hunting. Turns out, yeah, he was actually right. There was spies embedded even in the fucking State Department. So
and I've rolled the ball between my legs.
He was
down
vindicated.
The lane and gotten a strike.
He's not a popular guy. He was an asshole in a lot of regards, but he was ultimately vindicated.
He had a correct hypothesis and executed very poorly his desire to get rid of them, because he went after a lot of people who had nothing to do with communism and ended up leaving a lot of assets, as those records you're pointing to. He never fucking discovered them. He didn't discover the deep fucking mole assets. He got little fucking circus people.
Spies are kind of good at not getting found. It's kind of their job.
This is a guy.
Pointing the finger was more fun than pulling back the curtain.
Yeah, he went after Julia Child and Paul Child, for fuck's sake. I mean, this guy was unhinged after a while.
Yeah, they probably.
No, they really weren't. The reason that they were targeted, they worked for the U.S. State Department and were stationed in China, working for our government, is why they were targeted.
I mean, we already had spies within the State Department, so yeah, probably worth looking into.
All right. Here's a good question. Hold on. Here's a good question, because this leads me to something else. Because I talk to a lot of quote unquote normies who are not.
Don't do that.
I have to do this because they're not really into the they don't read anything. They just Facebook or Twitter or whatever the fuck they do, right? So, and you guys are definitely a lot more in tune to what they are in tune to. So the question is here: how does the normal person decipher and intake what is good information?
There's one simple answer to that, and that is subscribe to Big Buckin' Empire on YouTube, Facebook, K.O.E Nation on YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch, and also Truth and Fiction Pod on YouTube. That's where you get the true information, where you can actually get through all the bullshit, and that's where you can get to the closest that you could ever hope to find of the truly objective and measurable truth of this universe. That's where it's at.
He's shilling, but in his shilling, he's actually kind of telling the truth, because that honestly, like, for me, as someone, like, if I take the political compass test, I've generally landed damn near in the middle of this thing.
You're on the fucking line, okay, between left and right. You moderate motherfucker.
And
that's me.
That's what we need.
I like to hear both sides. Do both sides make a good point a lot of times? Yeah, and depends what the issue is. And it depends how rage-filled one side is versus how calm, cool, and collected the other one is. So, generally speaking, I like to listen to both sides. But
let me ask you a question.
You've got to understand the story that's being told. It depends on the issue. It depends on the story. You've got to look at it without a preconceived bias. And that's how I've always looked at everything. You have to be willing to hear both sides of it before you make your assumption, but also understand why the message being told to you is being told to you. Is there a reason that they have an investment into that side of the story?
Yes.
I like to look at every aspect first.
Yeah, and I was talking to a friend today, and I was like, there's a such thing as confirmation bias. We all have the confirmation bias. You have to be able to overcome that confirmation bias. And part of overcoming that confirmation bias is to be the ability to so like I personally think Ted Cruz in my state is not a great person. I have friends who think I have friends who think he's a great person. I am not a liberal. I am not a conservative. I am a person who's like, show me the facts. What is your presentation? What do you have to? What are you selling me? That's my standpoint. I need to know what you are selling me. Not if you're left or right. I don't give a fuck if you're left or right. What are you selling me?
I'm selling you Jesus, Bible, and the values.
Yeah, and I don't give a fuck about that.
No,
when it comes to politics, I don't care about
down
that.
the road. Religion should be out of politics in general, because it should not be what is informing whether or not you're voting for somebody. Their policy should be, as Osiris just said, what the little letter next to their name shouldn't be what's determining your vote. What they're going to vote yes or no on is what's going to fucking matter. Which is why, as a older person, my best advice for your question of how do you get through the bullshit information, especially with politicians, go to the voting record. It's public record. You can look it up online. Ignore the words that come out of their mouth. Look at what they vote yes and no on, because that will tell you the real thing of their politics.
You know, I was actually going to say in response, in kind of a weird, and it was going to be half memey, but it actually kind of agrees with what you're saying, but in a way you're not going to agree with. It's like, well, you look at how the NRA gives them their score of A to F on the NRA scorecard, but in a weird way, it's kind of agreeing with you because that's looking at their vote records. It's what do they actually vote on? Are they going to be pro this or that? Now, you know, and everybody else's scorecard is going to be different, but yeah, the NRA will give A's to F grades depending on how pro or anti-Second Amendment you are, and I've seen that swing people's votes.
I've found personally that the best way to get information about topical issues, politics, news, what have you, is this, like Phil was saying, shilling, but there's a grain of truth there. Having these honest face-to-face conversations, doing these live streams, such like this, you actually get real discussion. You get to hear perspectives that aren't solely narrative driven, but you actually get to hear the inflection in people's voice and how passionate they are about it and how deeply they feel about it. And sometimes you actually do hear people change their minds on things, or it can at least understand the other perspective. The absolute worst way to get your information is through social media and message boards, because people can hide through an anonymous face, name, and behind just a wall of text, and they can be as mean and nasty and insincere as possible and spread whatever lie they want. And that's what unfortunately happens. That's why it's better to understand, look somebody in the eye and hear their voice when they're talking to you and giving you the message that they're delivering. And that's the only way to get the real truth out of what somebody wants to say.
But my question was kind of a rhetorical question, because I already knew the answer. At least I knew my answer. And what I'm saying is, like, we got to get these politicians on the record, but we have to get them on the record in the way that we understand it today. You go to a town hall, okay, fine, but how many people are paying attention to town halls? We need to get them on Big Bucket Empire.
Damn right.
And fucking have them answer the fucking questions that the people need to know.
That's why we get the president on here weekly.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I learned a lot about bitches today, and that's what I needed to know. Now I understand. I needed to understand that, and I'm glad I understand it. And thank you, President Joe Biden, for you know, confirming to me what I understood about bitches. But this is what we need. Stop it. This is what we.
Yo, I'm here to bomb Ukraine and sniff bitches. I'm all out of bombs for Ukraine. Like, wow.
Now we're sending troops to Taiwan.
But this is honestly like this is the new person.
Hey!
Child, you have no shirt. You have to go away.
Usually that's my shtick. I usually have a kid running down here without a shirt on.
Yeah, I've got plenty. I got a grandchild. I got a child. They just keep coming. It's like playing a video game. It's like waves of zombies.
It
doesn't stop.
Than I do, but I got more grandkids than he does.
Do you know?
Well done.
I have 4 grandkids.
I got more than that. That's easy. I got
get more than that. You just don't have it yet.
No, I already have more than that. Yeah. I've been having more than that. What are you talking about?
When we were talking about the other day, you said 3 grandkids.
The ones I interact with.
Oh no! Oh God! Okay,
no, like, dude, you understand? It's a complicated situation.
Make sure this part is edited out.
yeah. Whatever.
Oops. No, and pause for edit. Okay, now let me tell you something. For me, I just got the one, and I just spoiled the shit out of her. So like,
I'm envious of you, Phil. I like. I seen your interaction with your child, and I envy that. The ability to be able to give all your love to one person is amazing.
Oh, thank you. Like, yeah. So like, it's like there's no sibling rivalries. There's no competition. I don't have to keep anything even. I can.
You have to remember one birthday.
Yeah. One birthday. That's it. And so just gotta not fuck that up, and that's it.
Comes to me, Dad, what's my birthday? Well, I know it's in the spring.
I know it's nice outside usually.
It's
usually warm. So
I remember when we started you. It was right around this time. So it was around this time. Oh shit! What day was it?
Oopsie daisies.
No, see, thankfully I don't have that issue. And I think that's Yank's way of telling us we need to go to the after.
Yeah, well, let's round it out. We'll head to the post show. I'm going to drop the link here in the comments.
All right. Well, gentlemen, as I'm known to say around here, all that being said, thank you for joining us here at Big Buckin' Empire, episode 176, Biden Yeltsin. Folks, I am your king of extreme, Phil K.O.E., the man of the hour, the man with the power, the man that makes you the podcast cower, the prince and potentate of the political parlance, the lord of the Scottish Highlands, the conqueror of the ethereal, and one damn handsome man if I do say so myself. You can, of course, find me, Phil K.O.E., at K.O.E Nation on YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch. That's K as in King, O as in oh my God. You can find K.O.E Nation on YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch. E is an extremely happy to know you can find K.O.E Nation on YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch, folks. Thank you for being here, Big Buckin' Empire. Special thanks to Tiberius. You can find him at Tiberius D, also YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch, for being here tonight, for giving your insight into Ukraine. Tonight, insight. God damn it, I'm good. Folks, thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us. Osiris Jacanadar, thank you also for coming here. God bless every last one of you. I hope all of you make it back here to Big Buckin' Empire. Happy, healthy, much the wiser. Jacanadar, Osiris, Tony G, take it away.
Yeah, go ahead, guys. Shill yourselves, tell people where they can find you, and then I'll finish us up, and we can head to the post.
You cannot find me. You just Google Osiris. You can find me on whatever the fuck you want to find me. I don't really make content anymore, but I always willing to help somebody who has computer questions, technology questions, audio questions, microphone questions, headphone questions, dogs who are retarded questions. I got all of that. I'm just here to have fun on the internet. If you're here to troll, you know what? I'm going to troll you, and then I'm going to stuff to you. All right. Have fun.
God bless. Jacanadar.
I appear on political panels around Twitch and YouTube. I produce for Tiberius and my good friend Lethy Water Kai, who you guys will probably have on here in the coming weeks.
Yep.
And I'm going to tell you outright, I will probably end up streaming before awful long, and most of your audience will hate everything that comes out of my mouth.
Sweet. That's the best kind. All right. Sweet. Awesome. Well, gentlemen, thank you for coming in tonight. This has been fucking awesome. Y'all are welcome here at Big Buck and Empire anytime.
Absolutely.
Tony, take us home.
Oh, yeah. All right. Episode 176 of the Dog and Chicken Show. Folks, like, share, subscribe. As always, it's very simple. We need as many people to head over to YouTube and click the subscribe on that YouTube channel right there, the Big Buck and Empire, because, you know, shadow bans and whatnot. And I don't know what's going on with Facebook. Like I said at the top of the hour, I never even got a notification that we're live on Facebook tonight. So we got to dig down deep, find out what's going on there, because I have so many people come tell me, oh, I didn't even know you did a show last night. It showed up 12 hours after the fact. Well, at least you can go back and watch, but I know a lot of people want to be involved in the comments, watch us live, so hopefully we can figure out what's going on there. I don't know. Other than that, yeah, check us out next week at episode 177. I don't know which night it's going to be on. It'll be Thursday, Friday. Hard to say. We'll get it figured out. We'll try to let you know ahead of time, but we've been terrible at that. So, like I said, like, share, subscribe. Otherwise, how the fuck are you going to find out? Other than that, find us on the Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast. We've got AEW Revolution coming up here in like a couple of weeks, I think. Very soon. Other than that, we're going to head to the post show. The link is right there at the bottom of the screen, and I'm going to give you one more just because I had one more down here. So I'll chug this. Justin, take us to the post, and we'll see you there, folks. Ugh.
Chug, 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 chug.
See if it just smooths itself out.
Tell you what I'll do if I ever get back.
I promise to fabricate you raging rivers of gold. That's what the brochure advertised.
Nice. So, folks, that was Big Buckin' Empire, where a whole lot of fun times went down there. I had a great time on that episode. I'm going to be honest with you. That was some of the most fun I've had on a podcast for a long time. I'm going to be honest with you. So I'm really glad I did that one. Now, Alesto asked me about something a little earlier, and I figured I'd break it down for y'all, or I could just reference the video where I broke it down for you now. Alesto was asking me about a Moderna cancer vaccine, a potential cancer vaccine. I was a little, really, what? And so I read the story. So without further ado, folks, here's my breakdown of this vaccine story. Make of it what you will. All right, folks, we've got a very interesting article here that I want to get into with all of you. And this is Moderna pops after FDA grants its cancer vaccine a breakthrough designation by Allison Gatlin, 2/22/2023. Moderna mRNA stock jumped late Wednesday after the Food and Drug Administration granted its Merck MKR partnered cancer vaccine a breakthrough designation. The companies are testing the personalized cancer vaccine in combination with Merck's Keytruda in patients with melanoma following surgery. With the designation, the FDA is acknowledging
the regime could offer a substantial improvement over currently available therapies. The designation also allows the agency to expedite its review process. In after-hours trading on today's stock market, Moderna stock rose 2.9% near $162.80. Merrick stock gained a fraction, trading near 110. Moderna stock, a new frontier. The personalized cancer vaccine uses the same messenger RNA platform as Moderna's blockbuster COVID vaccine. In this case, it prompts the immune system to create T cells capable of handling a patient's tumor cells. Patients who received bespoke vaccines on top of Keytruda were 44% less likely to relapse or die than those who received Keytruda alone. Keytruda is the standard of care for those patients. Moderna stock soared nearly 20% the day it announced those results. Keytruda works by uncovering tumor cells hiding from the immune system. The cancer vaccine adds another layer, handing the immune system the keys to the tumor's unique DNA signature. So if the cancer returns, the T cells are ready to go. Moderna President Stephen Hogg said in a written statement that the cancer vaccine, quote, represents a new frontier in treating melanoma and other cancers, end quote. But Moderna stock has fallen off since mid-January. Cancer vaccines keys to growth? Question. Moderna stock is sitting on the floor of its 200-day moving average, marksmith.com shows. The company is due to report its fourth quarter earnings before the opening bell Thursday. Wall Street expects steep declines in sales and adjusted earnings. That trend is expected to continue for the following 2 quarters. Analysts expect a return to growth in the third quarter. Long-term growth will depend on newer products like the cancer vaccine and potential short-targeting respiratory syncytial virus in older adults. Moderna stock investors are watching the next step for the RSV vaccine, which also has a breakthrough designation by Allison Gatlin, and this is according to Investors Business Daily, investors.com. So, folks, that is interesting. That is interesting. So, a potential cancer vaccine. Now, we're a real long way from just having a shot and the cancer's all gone. This looks like a post-treatment for specific cancer, but interesting to note, we are actually making some incredible leaps forward in treating this particular disease. Now, it's the unfortunate reality. I've heard it said rather cynically that whenever people report on any kind of cancer news, the only words that people want to hear is some combination of cancer miracle cure or miracle cancer cure or cancer miracle cure or just some combination of those 3 words. If you can't give that, then people don't really want to hear it. But this one is interesting. I just want you to think about this, what it could potentially mean. And yeah, this is an interesting one. Folks. The COVID vaccine mRNA structure is what's being used for this cancer vaccine. So very interesting stuff, folks. I'm going to be keeping my eye on this, and I'll be reporting on it when I know a little bit more. But I just wanted to drop it to you as much as it was dropped to me here at the KOE Nation.
Here and see if it just smooths itself out. So there you go, folks. Something to think about. Now, folks, this has been quite an evening, but I've been debating for several hours. And it is that time. So, folks, as I'm known to say around here, all that being said, thank you for joining us here at the KOE Nation, folks. I hope you've had an incredible evening, an incredible journey. I hope all of you make it back to the KOE Nation happy, healthy, much the wiser. I hope God blesses every last one of you with every blessing that you can imagine. And folks, thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us. And I'm going to leave you with this poem of the week, Bleak Midwinter by Christina Rossetti. God bless, folks. Travel well.
How we doing, all y'all? Time for another poem of the week. This one is by Christina Rossetti. In bleak midwinter. In the bleak midwinter, frosty wind made moan. Each stood hard as iron, water like a stone. Snow has fallen, snow on snow, snow on snow, in the bleak midwinter. Long ago, our God, heaven cannot hold him, nor earth sustain. Heaven and earth shall flee away when he comes to reign. In the bleak midwinter, a stable place sufficed, the Lord God Almighty, Jesus Christ. So there you go, folks. That's this week's poem of the week. If there's a poem you'd like me to read, or if you'd like me to read your poem, just let me know down in the comments or anywhere you can reach me. Until next time, God bless. Travel well.